Welcome to the Close Show, the final 2 hours before the holidays, and things are starting off on the right foot. We got a great show for you here. We're all in the festive spirit as well, and I got to look over to my right for the majority of the show to check out the goodies that we have here, courtesy of Mr. Sean Katina. I don't know why I said Mr. Sean Katina, but certainly Sean went and got us some eggnog. We've got the rum to go with it. We're going to enjoy on the show. And hopefully, unless something crazy happens here, we're going to enjoy a positive end to the week, the trading week. We're going to see the S&P hovering at 0.8% to the upside, the Dow 0.6%, but it's the NASDAQ right at that 1% mark. Just like yesterday's action, we are seeing the NASDAQ lead the way, so tech in the rebound looking pretty good. Brazil going to be to the downside. And, you know, we've seen crypto not moving too much, but we did note this morning that Bitcoin has gotten off of a recent support level, testing back towards that 50,000 mark. And sort of moving on over to the big board here, you did see earlier this morning that some of the casino names had given back those gains, all the ones related to Macau, of course, with that 45-day, I guess, I don't know, sightseeing or trying to find out whether or not there are negative influences when it comes to the casino and gaming industry in Macau. And that went positively for Wynn. They're up 3.6%. They had given some back earlier on in the session. I know Penn actually is up 1.7%. You still are seeing some weakness in the pharmaceuticals. Pfizer down 2% here. When the market has gone up this week, you have seen some weakness in that overall space. Still has some strength when it comes to the industrials. Was noting earlier that Honeywell up almost 2%, Caterpillar still up that 2% and going strong. I was looking at some of the bigger FANG names here, and maybe a little bit easier to hop on over to the NASDAQ, which sometimes it wants to load for you, sometimes it doesn't. We weren't seeing a super strong move in some of the biggest tech names, right? So you are being led primarily by the chips still. And Micron is now up 5% on the session after their blowout earnings on Monday. NVIDIA only up 1 point. AMD, however, up 3%. AMD and Xilinx both to the upside here today. Worth noting, yeah, that's right. That's JD. There was that technically negative report that Tencent is gifting their shareholders their holdings in JD, going from 17% to 2% via a special dividend. That was on our watch list this morning. Pinduoduo actually down on that front as well. Lucid Motors the other way, down 2%, while Tesla, hold my beer Tesla, up 5.5%. But the truth of the matter is, this week, lower volumes has led to a lot of low float runners. And they have been what has been driving the gains for the day traders and for the short-term traders. You could have swung a lot of these this week. We love to go over these trades. We love to give you guys an idea of how to take advantage of these moves. So with that, let's go straight over to Sean for a trade review.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Yeah, we've got the Grinch on today, feeling a little grinchy as we go here, but a good point and great lead in here about ENSC. I mean, look, this is my sticky note. 1, 2, 3, 4 names. That's it. And they all actually happen to be runners here today. But we'll look right now at ENSC. Multiple times yesterday, late day run, bounced off the $5. Let's look at $6.50. So it was already sort of on our watch list today on my own sticky note. I post this every single day at Trader TV Sean. Let's take it down and have a look to see what exactly we traded today. So ENSC, and again, it's a runner, opioid abuse. They're trying to figure that out with their software, their solution here. So, I mean, I think it's a good name and it makes sense what we're doing here. So let's have a look at what we're talking about. So this is a 20-minute chart. You could see yesterday we had some movements. We had $5 in here talking about, I mean, this goes all the way back to the 8th, but we've already had some action here around $5. And then talking about yesterday, in and around here, we had some more love about the $5 range. So we really marked that off as something that we wanted to trade earlier on. So this is a minute chart here today. It actually dips right down, and we missed this. We absolutely missed that long. We should have been long in here. We even talked about it on that note that we showed you, $5. So it actually dips down. Unfortunately, in the morning, I'm on too many other names, but this was one that we should have looked at because, again, it was on the sticky note. So that's on me. But there's a dip down into $5. When it takes out 550, I'm just like, you know what? I really feel like this is probably going to run back to pre-market highs. But as you can see, it actually doesn't happen. We take the 550 break there, and then it just starts to come back down. We also taking that break too because it's the bottom of the pre-market. So, hey, maybe we found a bottom and we miss it, so we pay up 50 cents. Shouldn't be that much of a problem because we've already tested up here. We've marked it down, the 650 pre-market high. So, needless to say, comes back up, drops back down. We're waiting down here. We don't get filled. Would have been great to average in. This is a position that I like. Then all of a sudden it pops. So it goes down to 530, then pops up. It takes out VWAP. We take a first out there at volume weighted average price. Then it pops back up into the 80s and we take another piece out. So right here, we're in the money like 20 cents, 15 cents, something like that. And it's just kind of hovering. And then we say it right on the show, I'm not getting out of this position until it breaks back down below $5. And it actually never gives us that reload down here. We're still waiting to get it. It doesn't happen. And then all of a sudden pops back up again. And then it's like, oh hum, it's lunchtime. We'll take this out again right here at $6. So we take another piece out, another winner. Notice there's no trades down here. Then all of a sudden, we're just relaxing, no problem. Then look what happens. Just like yesterday, and it's too bad I should show you, if I could actually zoom this, yeah, you can't really see it here, but yesterday, at the end of the day, that's when the volume started getting crazy around this $5 mark. So again, we talked about it. Maybe the volume comes back in the aftermarket, right? Or sorry, in the afternoon. And that's exactly what happens. Boom, we get out again at 610. And then all of a sudden, see ya. And there's my trade that we wanted to take on that pre-market high break. So there it breaks 650. We get into that at that point. Then it rips to the upside. And we're noticing we're trying to let this settle down. We instantly get out 75. We take that 20, 25 cents. Then it bumps even higher. Take it out again right there. We're still waiting for 7 to break. That doesn't happen. We still have a small piece of this name as it comes back into this area right now. I believe this is a little bit of a reload, but just pay attention that it didn't break 7 right there. And if you look back here, it's the same story. If we go all the way back to the early of the month, it's still the same spot, 650. These lines just carrying forward. So, hey, sometimes it pays off to look back a few weeks or whenever, use higher time frames. We talk about this, 20 minutes, right? You could look at it daily. I prefer 20 minute, gives me a little bit of a better look on the actual levels, but you can see it comes into play right here again. We go long, get some at the top, and now you're seeing a move back down into this $5 area. I believe you could buy some ENSC right here, use this 5 as a bottom. If it comes back down there, let's load back up. But it's a trade of the day, and it's a good one, and we had to be patient, and I think that that's exactly what we're trying to say.
Absolutely. It's all about finding what is moving. That was a mover. And a lot of times these days, you got to wait around for the volume of the break to come and just trust in that fact, which Sean did excellently there. You can always find that name and other names daily on our watch list, our free watch list, I should say. You can always scan the QR code or find it at watchlist.tradertv.live. And a lot of names were on this list here today. And sometimes, not everything is going to be up in the market. And there's one that I wanted to sort of open up with here because every single day that the market has shown strength, I mean, some of the vaccine names have been weak, but we got the headline 2 days ago that Pfizer and Merck were likely to get both of their treatment pills to be approved by end of the year. And then we had Pfizer's pill get its actual acceptance or FDA approval for emergency use authorization. We then had Merck's get the same thing. Today we're looking at Pfizer down 2%. So that 60 level comes in as a resistance once again this morning, and they're sitting right on their lows as the market looks like we want to hang out at the highs. So, what are our thoughts here? I know where there's Pfizer you can look at, there's Merck, there's Moderna, there's NVax, a lot of these names here today on the move. But thoughts in general on Pfizer, down 2% after what was such a good run in the last few weeks.
Well, we talked about Pfizer this morning. It was about 62 level on Pfizer off the daily chart, where there seems to be a ton of action. So if we can actually get above right here, this is the top end. The high here is about 61.75, 71. Round that up to call it 62. If we get above there, we're going to get some action, maybe a nice little push towards 63, 64. Or if it traps out or if it fails, essentially, then you get a nice little short as well. So it provides an opportunity to go in both directions, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. But 62 has to be the level. Now, to the downside, let's just say we just keep moving down. 57, you could argue, but there's limited downside on the short below 57 because there's going to be some support coming in just underneath 56. So you got to be careful on how you play the short if you go for the downside break. So I'm going to be more inclined to look for one specific price where I know the move is better. It's going to be more of a binary choice. I either go for the long or I go for the short off the failure. Versus 57, you kind of have to finesse this trade a little bit more. It requires more attention. So I'd rather just pay attention to that top end level and see what Pfizer does when we get to it. If we don't, then we just set the alert, forget about it, deal with it when it happens. I know NVAX is another mover that's been moving around quite a bit. That's the name that I prefer to trade when it comes to these vaccine plays, these medical names. So NVAX is the big one here for me anyways. Haven't traded it today, but I have traded this in the last week or so since I've been here. And I think the big move on NVAX came a few days ago where, well, that was a big move too. Wow, I didn't see that move from 168 to, oh, no, that's not it. That can't be right. We never got it. Oh, no, that was in the pre-market. Got it. This was the day that I'm talking about. This was the 20th, so it would have been Friday of last week. As we were coming off of this 230, just completely, I remember this day, we were at 245. And then I think around the open, we were at 230. And by the time we hit the open, we were just completely done. This would be right here. Let's just zoom this back. Yeah, we were right here and then just completely fell off. NVAX is providing the range that you need to work with. It's providing the opportunity, the range, everything you need for a large trade, whether it's to the buy side or to the sell side. To the buy side, you have that support going around that 160. So a little bit more to the downside opens up the long. And then to the upside, obviously, we're going to have some problems once we get to 230. But the range is wide, which means NVAX, the risk is going to be higher, but the potential for the long or for profit is going to be much bigger.
Yeah, I was, and I know we started off with Pfizer, but I made the same play that we made yesterday on Pfizer when we had that pill come through and be approved there by, I guess it was the U.S. side, the FDA there. And today I thought the same thing was going to be true for Merck. It happens right there in the pre-market. You get a little baby. I mean, let me hold on a second. Let me zoom this in a little bit more so you can see that volume spike. No, it doesn't help. You get a volume spike right here on Merck's to start the morning off. And there it is right there, the announcement from 75 all the way up to 77, that Merck's drug now approved, right? But the thing is, it didn't do anything. We got in basically on the way down. We never had a chance to get this out ever. It never came back to 76.60 ever. But then when it fell down, that's when we started to do some work and we managed to get that bid down there, like someone got flushed out there and we were able to take that bid off that wick. So we did get 75.40s and we got out basically flat in the middle. And right now we're just holding it. But look at this today. It's an absolutely like dead zone here for Merck today. Like nothing happening. Maybe we take out the high of 76. We'll see. I mean, we're long right now, 82s, and that was basically our average price. We do have one out here for flat at VWAP, which was 88 actually, so we made 6 pennies on that or whatever. But right now we'll wait to see where it goes. But a little disappointing today, needless to say, for Merck. And then I didn't really even look at Pfizer. I've been in so many positions. I still have so many positions. Pfizer, yeah, a little dip down today. I already said it today on the morning show that I thought Pfizer was overdone to the upside. So for me, no surprise there about Pfizer taking out some new lows right now. I still think we could test 57. And then I'm a buyer down here, low 50s, believe it or not. I still think it gets there next week, maybe next week, actually.
Yeah, and was going to go down the list a little bit further, but I wanted to bring everyone's attention. GNCA just took out the high of the day. Another, actually has a 50 million share float here, up 29%. It just took out the high of the day. Volume a little bit underwhelming. So although that could be par for the course, but it's just another a name under tremendous pressure the last few weeks or so that is catching a bit of a bid, and this is the kind of week that it's been. So GNCA on the radar. On our watch list today, we did talk a little bit about the casino names. Right now, there was the Macau news, which was positive, and we know Wynn did put in that nice move early on in the session. Didn't really see a ton of follow through with it, but it did a pullback and is now sort of holding up at about 3.5%. It just got in and now putting support at 88.75. So it looked fantastic when we broke out in the morning. A lot of things did fall and come back in. Thoughts on Wynn? It's been not a good run. It's been a great run for Wynn in the last few weeks. And you have to think with that 90 double top on the daily chart, that could have just been an obvious place for people to bag some profit. I mean, that was a pretty good swing.
Yeah, I was looking at Wynn this morning. Remember, we were talking about Wynn because of the daily chart, right? Once it got above 90, I wanted to see some sell-side activity come in. Then we're going to look to fade this with a 93 stop. Well, it didn't work out that way because I was looking at the short, but we completely missed the entry because by the time I put the order out, it was sitting at like an 89.60 or something, and I put the order out just north of 89.90, and it never came back enough to get me a fill. And then there we went, $2.50. But the read is still there, even though we may not have gotten the trade today. The read is still there. The levels are still in play. 93 is still there to provide some resistance. Now, though, this little area here, which I wasn't sure what would happen when we kind of came down. I was kind of preparing both scenarios here. In the event I was short, I was going to tighten up my stops as soon as we got close to this 89 area, just to kind of like see, just to protect in the event that we bounce back sharply. But we did bounce, but it wasn't too sharp. We're kind of drifting up now. As long as we kind of keep going up, I think you've got to provide some respect to this 87 area. So I would argue the stop on this is going to be 85. So we just kind of box this in here. 85 on the bottom, 93 on top, and see if we can get a short north of 90. And if we need to go long, it'll be somewhere south of 87. Anything in between, I think we just leave it alone. There was one nice trade available today on win. If you were fast enough on that trigger, just north of 90, great entry with the 93 stop. Otherwise, we're going to wait for this trade. At some point, we're going to get a trade either below 87, like I mentioned, or north of 90.
Yeah, so we have win. We're long in 88 there. We just cashed it out at 89.12 on the upside. It's been a good trade for us, long and out, long and out. That's just another long. That's part of that out. And now we'll let win continue to go to the upside. We talked about Macau. Again, it's one of the other names on our my sticky note. It's on the watch list as well today, and it's about trading names that are moving. And today, win up 3% with the market up 1%. That's good for me. We took that long. I'm trying to rush through this because we have a few more things to do, and then it's eggnog time. So, like, literally, we're going to wrap this up very, very soon here. We've got a few more things to do. We're going to talk about the Santa Claus rally and a few other things, and then it's eggnog time. We're waiting for Ms. V. We're waiting for Trader Prad to get back. They're going to be finishing off their food, and then when they come back through, then we're going to start having some eggnog. And the funny thing is that, you know, we've all had it, okay? Those two over there, Ms. V and Trader Prad, have never had it. So I know Rob's by himself, but we have to sort of think of a way that we can get them maybe on camera, maybe as if they're running their show as they sip the eggnog or something, or they can stand up there with Neil and try it for the first time. So I'm going to leave that creative control over there with you, Mr. Robert, and let's try to figure that out, because I have to see Pratt and V's face, guys, when they have the rum and eggnog, because it is an acquired taste. Yeah, I think it's an acquired taste.
I mean, if you can have ice cream, I think you can have eggnog.
That's
but
not
I mean, Brad was a little off-put by the fact that there's actually eggs in it.
Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. It is an acquired taste. I mean, whatever. It doesn't taste like milk. It doesn't taste like cream. I mean,
show me who doesn't like it though. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No. I have complete confidence. The thing is, though, you know what we don't have?
What's that?
It's something I put on the rum and eggnog all the time. You have to have rum and eggnog with said spice. Do you guys? It's nutmeg.
Either cinnamon.
You don't have to have nutmeg, but
I
know what you're talking about.
It's a nice little look on the top.
You're fine. You're fine without it.
I'm trying to get the feels there of proper eggnog. Like, I'm just saying that, like, we're going to be giving it to them, but it is going to be missing that. I like it. I like the taste of. I'm not a cinnamon guy, much more of a nutmeg guy. But anyways, welcome. There it is, right there. Yeah, I went out, and this is the thing. That's the black label eggnog. You could buy one down, but we leveled up on that one, and then we did not go crazy. We just got the generic Captain Morgan spiced rum, as promised by your boy, and now it's there. So there it is. You know, man of my word, we went out and got it, ran across the street to the LCBO, went to Shoppers Drug Mart, picked up the eggnog. So let's get ready to rock and roll.
Well, I noticed that was a President's Choice eggnog. You know what that means? We got to buy some Loblaw shares.
You want to do that?
No.
L? Want to buy some L on the TSX
Get
right
some
now?
Loblaws, go for it.
Yeah, but good look on that one. Let's get back to trading, but it's going to be eggnog time, and I just want to give everyone a heads up. Go get your drinks ready. Let's get ready to rock and roll. It's 2:20. That's perfect timing, right? It's wine o'clock somewhere, so let's get ready to go on that one right now. Get your drinks ready. We're going to be cheersing very, very soon.
Yeah, so we'll get one more in here. I just wanted to quickly talk about JD, if only because the news was negative per se, because obviously Tencent is going to be getting rid of their stake in the company and giving it to their shareholders, who might in turn end up selling it. And of course, it still remains a U.S. listed Chinese name, which puts it under some pressure. But shares have actually recovered and holding near their highs. I know it's still down 7%, but no material change in the company. And there was nothing specific from the government against them except for Tencent lowering their position. Now Walmart is the biggest holder of shares of JD.com, and Tencent on the other side of this is actually up on the session because they'll obviously be generating some cash here. But anyway, 69.50 is a double top I'm looking at right now. If there was better volume, I'd be thinking a bit of a breakout. But overall thoughts here, we could talk about maybe another Chinese name, Alibaba. But JD.com defied expectations, found a bottom, and actually ripped this morning shortly after 9:30.
Did you say something about rum and eggnog? No, did I pass? Do you got anything about JD there,
I was actually going to look at JD this morning. I was looking at potentially going for a long on JD north of 70. And I still believe that north of 70 is where the trade is on JD.com. If we can get that long, that'd be great. But if we can't, hey, stay away until we get that move. We don't need to put too much attention to it because this condition has been in effect all morning and JD has yet to break 70. So we'll wait for that to happen.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Chinese stocks, this and that, go down. Chinese stocks go up, internet. Valeria is back in the building. Ms. V, get there. Hey now. We're just showing that vertical. Ms. V getting jacked up. We were just talking about it. It's almost eggnog time, Ms. V. So get your taste buds ready to rock and roll because we are going to be demonstrating. As you can see, I am... people are going to think that I'm already in the sauce here, but you can see clearly that has not been opened yet. And right now we're trying. We're at 3 p.m. I'm trying here. It's 2:20. We'll drink some water with the rum and eggnog. And so my thought about JD is, guys, you just got to be safe with some of these Chinese names. I prefer, we've already talked about this, the FXI. Look that up. It's the ETF for the China 100. So for me, I like that, and I think that's the right thing to do. Let's get this Santa Claus rally out of the way, Neil, because we thirsty.
What is the Santa Claus rally? Everyone's talking about it here, and it's a pretty simple concept. The market has a tendency in the last week of the year and the beginning of January to go to the upside. And as a matter of fact, specifically, it's those final 5 days before the end of the year and the first two that signify the Santa Claus rally. Now, it's actually been about 1.4% to the upside on the S&P, which is pretty tremendous for just 1 week that we have seen in recent times for the Santa Claus rally. We've had a bit of a run going into it here. So general thoughts, we know what it is now. The questions are we going to have it, and what is it going to mean for the markets if it does occur next week?
All right, I can start with this one here. In the event that we get this rally, and I think that's a clear one, that's a clear thing here that we need to look at. Next week is technically the beginning point of when this metric has started. So for the last 5 trading days of the year would start next week. We've had quite the rally this week. So 3 days in a row, we've gone straight up. Now, if we were to get that extension next week, that would put us in territory for brand new highs on these S&P futures. NASDAQ futures, let's take a quick look at the NASDAQ. Would that get us into striking distance for NASDAQ? Yeah, 16,800 would get us there as well. So 5 straight days up with a decent move would get us north of the all-time highs on the NASDAQ and on the ESs. And I think at that point, you could argue that it's going to be very interesting how the beginning of the year finishes. Because remember, last 5 trading days of this year and the first 2 trading days of next year would need to be all positive for this rally to have been complete. But if we go strong north of 47.50 for the next week and we can maintain that momentum into the new year, we keep going, this market is completely gone. We spent way too much time going sideways for us to completely reverse this if we get the first 2 trading days of the year to be positive. So given that we've been essentially at the start of this range was beginning of November, we've been going for 2 months now inside this wide range. An expansion gets you out of that, gets this rally. If this rally gets going, we're gone. This market's gone. But if we were to rally and then, let's just say the first 2 trading days of the year or the first week of the year were to come down negative, it becomes a big issue because it's a false breakout. And I think that's one thing you definitely have to keep an eye on and just watch out for, because if this were to false breakout and come back in, this is going to be bad because that traps a lot of people north of 47.50 that are maybe potentially short getting out, longs getting in because of the expansion, and then move back down through 4,700 kind of opens the door for the downside move. I think that's what you got to watch out for. Regardless of the way it plays out, a move through this 4750 using this rally should get an extension as the rally completes at the beginning of next year. And I think that's a critical thing. We need that extension, especially going into the year.
So I'm going to basically just echo everything Neil talked about. That it's and we've all done that. It's the last 5 days of the year plus a couple days in the new year, and it's not an exact science here, the rally. But let's just talk about some stocks that have been like, you know, really just hot fire and kind of leading the way here. And you can't really trade Apple you can't really look at the market without talking a little bit about Apple, right? And so I think that when you're looking here, if you didn't want to take the futures because you're like, you know what, I don't have that much experience, maybe trading the futures, and maybe I don't trust some of the reads here on that or whatever. You don't want to trade an ETF. I say in this point, you just go over to Apple. We talk all the time that they're 10% of the NASDAQ, a certain percent, I think it was 7 or 8 of the S&P. So you can see that, and I don't think you can go wrong trading Apple because there's a lot of tailwinds there for Apple moving forward into the new year, including more talk about their cars, including more talk, I mean, basically everything. We can go on and on about Apple here. They're going to get more into the fitness realm. We've seen Metaverse become very, very popular. I think there's more to come from Apple on that play as well. Their phone is rocking and rolling from what I've heard. Supplies, they can't keep up with them. So look, I think with the supply chain getting figured out here, Apple with a few tailwinds there. Remember, Apple during the Christmas season, Apple's going to be huge too because they still have Apple Pay, right? Deal with Goldman Sachs where they get revenues from that as well. The watch is pretty hot. Everyone's picking up new phones. The 5G cycle. So for me, I love the Santa Claus rally theory. We've been talking about it all week, and we've had 3-4 straight up days here for Apple, and I think it continues. And if the market's going to take out all-time highs, I think you're not wrong picking up some Apple here and riding that even higher. I think Apple outperforms the S&P in 2022.
So there you go. Now you know what the Santa Claus rally is, what it might mean if it does run, what you can play just in case it happens. Now I'm going to end it off here, and I guess I'm going to be the Grinch here, even though you're wearing the Grinch shirt, Sean. When it doesn't happen, the rare times that it hasn't happened in the last 20 years, believe it or not, 1999, 05, 08, 2015, and 16, when we don't get a rally, which is, you know, the minority of the time, the month of January, when we have no Santa Claus rally, when those 7 days, last 5 of the year and the first 2, when those are not positive, the month of January has been negative on the S&P every single time. So in case it doesn't happen, maybe it's a good opportunity to buy the dip at the end of January, or we take some off there. There it is, the Santa Claus rally for you. Of course, this and more entertaining videos to come and educational as well. But
I mean, I had to play that. We went the whole video without playing that.
I was waiting for it, but absolutely, it's a fantastic topic, and of course, hope you learned a lot there. And it should be a good one. We are expecting to have a Santa Claus rally, and play it and enjoy it. There we go, right back onto the shot, so we can kind of get down to business here. Look, we'll talk about ENSC if only because it's moving, and today you want to focus on the stocks or the names that are moving. Otherwise, don't get yourself wrapped up in over trading. You don't want to end your month or your week off before the holidays on a bad foot. I just actually stepped into this buying the dip in front of the support level myself. But ENSC, it's still up 11% even after that dip that it put in here. And we're watching some other smaller cap runners try to make some moves. I'm actually still in KXI myself, but you got to make sure you're trading what moves here. But just your thoughts. I know you just did the trade of the day on this, Sean, and it's right into the support level that you were talking about right at the end. I like it myself. Your thoughts?
Did you see something about eggnog? Because right here, Rob, come over here. I'm not letting this go until there's one in my hand. So right here, this is your boy. We went shopping. I tweeted it out, shopping. You could see here's eggnog right here. So, you know, I'm domesticated, guys. So here we go. Out there shopping, went there. We're all good. Let's get ready to rock and roll. So ENSC, I believe that's what you said. So let's go over here to ENSC and talk about this quick time. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a runner. It's on the watch list. It's on the sticky note. Right now, we've just averaged into the trade, so you can see what my average price is now, 78. So we're still stuck a little bit up here, but it's been a good one today, man. We've made some money on it. It's actually, now that I look at it, it's actually my top stock position pending this one. We hit it right there, right when the market opened at 9. Well, this is 9:54, but the market opens. It comes down. It builds this base at 5. We talked about that yesterday. Look at all these halts at this time yesterday. But at the same time, besides it fading out after market, it held 5. So we were always looking at this $5 bottom. And it's come through right now. So we'll take that. I'm also sitting actually right now at 516 here. I don't know why. That must be the bottom there. Yeah, that's the bottom. So we're still waiting down here to take a fill if it does go there. And then we are out at 490 or $5. So if it breaks through 5, we're going to be out of that one. We have a lot of positions on, man. AMC, CCL, this ENSC. We still have KTTA. We'll talk about that Merck and Win. But that's why. Why am I in so many positions? I see you're in 2. Like, that makes more sense. But some of these are left over from the morning show, so I'm okay with those. But yeah, I like this one. Good name, opioid abuse. They have a platform for that, apparently getting approval. So I like it. I think it can work. But at the same time, we're not being foolish. And I talked about it earlier. Back in December 10th right there, we already made that 650 high. And then we made a high right here of 550. So I don't know if we climb back to some of these prices where we started, back $15, $16. But to me, it makes sense. If they get the approval and their product is working, then I do see an upside for that. But this is not going to be a home run trade. If we can get back into this area, we'll take it out. So for right now, we'll sit on our hands for ENSC. Our play is very, very simple. We either get longer down here, and if we do, then our out is 5. So that's fine. Or it continues to go back up to the upside, which I think it's going to do, and we're able to get out on some of the bids. We do have an offer here at 6, and then after that, we're going back up here to 680. So let's see if that happens, but very, very simple play on, and I'm going to sneeze, ENSC.
All right. The only position that I've still got all the positions I've picked up while our first show ended. The only position I picked up that I still don't have is going to be Crocs. So Crocs is one of those trades where I called for that 120 long with the 116 stop. I went ahead, took that long. It kind of dipped a little bit, and then it kind of rallied up. So we finally got our target, at least for the first half of the position, out around that 123.5 and change. So a nice little $3.50 winner on the first half of Crocs, and then we trailed that out and made about 50 cents. No, it wasn't even 50 cents. I got pretty good price actually, 03. So it was about 90 something cents on the second portion of the trade. So here we are, kind of just like walking away from Crocs. It's done what it needed to do. I knew the upside was up to at least 124 into 125. So we took that shot. Maybe we could get the risk back. We did. We got out half and then we walked away, and we still have AMD as well. This one, well, maybe not the best read for me on an AMD. It's going to be, if this ends up taking a hit, it's probably going to be my second loser for the day. AMD long north of 148. Stop on this is 170, 147 and change, but it doesn't look too good. And then the last one, obviously GME I talked about as well, north of 151.
I'm running out of patience. I'll be right back, Arun. I assume you want one?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go. I'm coming right back. Go ahead, Neil.
Actually, just saw Natalie coming back, and we're getting the team ready to go. Prad and Maggie are indisposed right now as we are trying to get the entire team locked and loaded and to go. There are some names that are still kind of on the move here, but I wanted to highlight one that's Miss V's favorite. Tesla's still rounding about the top at 1070. Well, sorry, check that 1065. Elon, we did talk about this morning, where Elon he righted the ship and sort of said he was kind of done, maybe done, mostly done selling his shares instead of all the way done selling his shares. Either way, Tesla still leads the board, up that 6% on the session, and still screaming to the upside. It's been an incredibly strong ride for Tesla. It had lagged the market for the majority of the move the last couple of weeks, and now you're actually finally starting to see it catch up to the upside. I don't know if you guys are even bothering to talk about it. I see Arun shaking it. You don't have to actually shake the nog that much, bro.
What's up?
You don't have to shake it that much.
Shake it more. Shake
what
it
do
off.
I do?
Shake it off.
I never bought one like this. I bought them in jars.
Just open it,
You gotta leave some rum for everybody. Like, I don't even know.
Okay, I'll just leave it to Sean. Sean knows what he's doing. We'll just leave it up to him.
All right. So here we go. So there's some shots. What do you mean I know what I'm doing? I'm just going to pour the eggnog in there. I mean, this is very, very simple. Okay, so there it is. The Captain Morgan. Salute to everybody here. Get your drinks ready. I've already informed Justin. Apparently he's ready to rock and roll. So we're gonna pop this off right now. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. So I don't want to spill it everywhere. That would be a shame. There's the juice. I was going to say juicy. The creamy eggnog coming through. You know what we need actually? We need stir sticks. So I'll go get those as well. But there it is right there, Arun. So don't touch it yet.
Yes, sir.
Let's stir that up, and then guys, get ready. Rum and eggnog time. We're getting ready to get we're ready to get lit, but we're not going to get lit. But that's just what the young kids say. So we're going to get lit right now off this rum and eggnog. I'm going to go get stir sticks. I'll be right back.
Just to put things in perspective, I can smell that. That is
Yes, you can, my
going to
friend.
be a fun time. Neil, do you have anything to add? Because I've got nothing to add because we're just doing nothing. And
I see what you're doing over there.
I just got out of AMD, by the way. Okay, Neil?
I mean, you got me, I'm the one sitting on the desk, and it's like, we got Justin coming, the marketing guy, in just a few minutes here. But ENSC, I'm essentially just scalping this trade, as I am able to sit here trading the desk. Maybe not as much as I usually would. It was a rough morning on it. Well, I shouldn't say that, because we did go 1 for 2 shorting this name. And then we got the long. I've been scalping it out here when it gets to that 550 mark. It looks like it might break the bottom here. You do not want this thing taking out 515. I think it's a decent challenge, a chance it gets to that pre-market low at $5. If $5 goes, I mean, you see the kind of gap that it has to be able to fill in. We closed yesterday's session just below that $5 mark, and certainly there's always a chance that we could retrace through it. I got to make sure, Sean, that Miss V gets one.
You one. No, Miss V's gonna have one with Thread.
Yeah, well, yeah. So you guys know, yeah. There we go. There's a setup. Trader Pratt is actually in a meeting. He's busy right now. He is going to get back to us. Look, work never stops around here. He's going to get back to us when he gets an opportunity. When we're ready, we're going to go to. I don't know if Justin is ready. I think we're still waiting on him. KXIN is another name that I was trading this morning. Kaixin, whatever auto.
You know what
I finally.
It's actually Cation.
Cation? I don't know, man. See, you know what the
That's why I'm here. Hold on.
The funny thing is, usually Brendan is the one who pronounces the names correctly. And I just sort of say whatever Brendan says, because as far as I'm concerned, it's just a symbol. I can know what the fundamentals of the company are going to matter sometimes. In this particular case, it was about the easiest shorting opportunity that you're going to find. It put in this nice level of support right before the open at 165. This was a previous level of resistance on the daily chart. Like, give me a break. You got resistance on the daily chart at 165. You then try to break out pre-market. You then hold support at 165, and then when it breaks, it does a break. Then it does a failed break back to the upside. Right at the open, you're able to short it. Now it's just barcoding at $1.41. Apparently, I'm supposed to wait now, Sean. I can't drink it until we're all.
We're going to go on a 3. We're going to go on a 3
Thank you, Robbie.
pick here. So obviously, everybody. It's been a fantastic year. We're going to wait for Valeria and Prad to do theirs. We're going to do ours now, and then we'll do it there. And then we're going to do another one with Justin, so don't worry about that. But for right now, salute to everybody there. Cheers. Have a good drink. Have one on us. Don't trade too many shares. Lower your default.
Yeah, happy holidays for sure.
Okay, so only complaint right now is needs to be colder.
Yeah.
It could use an ice. I think we have ice.
Minutes, but
I think there's ice somewhere around here. I'm not going to lie. But
We'll get some ice with that. Yeah, that's tasty, guys. Thank you so much. I hope I didn't put too much rum, but it's definitely turned up.
One thing I would advise, though, like Neil said, obviously, Sean said, lower your shares. Also, I'm down to one position and with a trailing stop, so I'm not too worried about what's about to happen later on. So
I've already got
just
my
be smart
stops in.
about it.
I can just sit back,
There you
relax,
go.
sip some cognac.
Get your stops in.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the eggnog was in. I mean, it was in the fridge. But again, it's from, it's not in like an amazingly cold place. But yeah, get some of this. The rum and eggnog is in the building, guys. Tweet at me any of your pictures. Let's get ready to rock and roll. We are ready, I think, now with Justin. Is that true, Rob? Okay, so are you ready, Neil?
I'm born ready.
Yeah, we're all born ready. Let's go over to Neil and we'll see what Justin's drinking.
Yes, sir. I mean, we've already teed it up. You know who's coming. It is Justin, the marketing guy, one of our favorite guests, as always, and coming right back through to us. And yeah, I mean, no Leafs jersey here today, Justin, but we got our eggnog locked and loaded and ready to go. We should have shipped you some, but I don't know if you have anything you can partake with, but happy holidays, my friend. There it is. That's almost better.
There you go. So just getting a little bit of Maker's Mark neat for Thursday afternoon. Yeah, I love your sweater, man. That's awesome. I'm really into that. There you go. Oh, nice. There you go. I told you about the Christmas sweater I'm wearing today. I think I mentioned it the other day.
Hold on a second. Now you have to remind me. So you got to stand up so I can see it.
All right, hold on a second.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Drizzy. Why? Look, absolutely love it. You gotta get in the holiday spirit. We're all dressed up here, as you can see. Apparently, we're supposed to talk about some interesting things. You know, oddly enough, it's like this is the third day in a row, or third time in a row you've come on here, and we're gonna talk about IPOs. So, I mean, I blindsided you with Reddit, obviously, and today you want to talk a little bit about Triller. As they're set to go public, although this is not really an IPO. This is one of those reverse mergers that's been so popular.
Right. So yeah. So move over TikTok. Triller is making its way onto the scene. As you said, a reverse merger with SeaChange or SEAC on the market. Value of the deal is approximately $5 billion. Expected to close first quarter next year, subject to the usual regulatory and stockholder approvals. The interesting platform, 250 million downloads, launched in 2015, so used by some big names like the Biebs, The Weeknd, Cardi B, and so on. But they've also got deals with some TikTok users like Noah Beck and Charlie D'Amelio. So they've had kind of a busy year, though. They've acquired 4 different companies in the last year. Thuzio does business-to-business influencer events, live streaming or live music streaming platform, Verzuz, that was founded by Swiss Beats and Timbaland. So, you know, they've definitely been on the acquisition warpath. I think the coolest thing about this merger, IPO, whatever this is called, is their stock ticker. Their stock ticker reminds me of the Beastie Boys Ill Communication album. Their stock ticker is going to be ILLR, so Iller. Kind of a cool stock ticker. I'm really into that. So, kind of a neat thing. So. And I think that Sean was talking about SEAC earlier this week, was mentioning that he's had some trades in there. So
yeah, actually, SEAC has been a bit of a mover, and it's certainly a name that people, viewers of our show have definitely traded this one before. Now today it's down 4%, but SEAC has been on the run. If you look at it the last couple of weeks, or just pull up the daily chart's going to tell you the story. Breaking through $1, now holding around $1.88, $1.90. So these tend to be exciting when they come through. A lot of times there's a little bit of speculative flavor to them. Obviously that's going to be the case most times. But right. certainly a good story. I saw. I don't know if Miss V heard that the Biebs is on Triller, but if you got a good ticker or an interesting ticker that makes it easy to remember the company or fun to say, then you have me, and you had me at Iller. Another one, and we know you're big on ride sharing, right? So talking about Uber before, this is a bit of a different spin because we're not going to talk specifically about the Uber stock. Something different going on here.
Right. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt, already getting into too much whiskey. Levitt taking on the role of former CEO Uber. Former Uber CEO Travis Kalanick in a limited series show on Showtime called Super Pumped, named after the book by Mike Isaac. A fantastic book, by the way. If anybody is, if you're looking for an interesting kind of view of how Uber got started and the resulting scandals and so on, a really, really interesting book to read. Highly recommend it, and you'll be able to bang that out, no problem. Launching February 27th. Each season of the show is going to feature a different story from the world of business, which is going to start with Uber and the launch of Uber with Travis Kalanick, Garrett Camp, and all those other folks that were involved with Uber from the early days when it was called Uber Taxi. So that should be pretty interesting. I'm kind of pumped about that. I love on-demand transportation. I've worked in an industry before. So anything that talks about logistics and moving things and people and experiences and all that stuff, I love that. So I'm going to be I'm going to be interested in seeing how this all shakes out.
Yeah, and from the creators of Billions, if you're into that show, I mean, I'm a fan of the Billions. It's a fun show, and I think that has me excited, if not just for Uber as well. Hey, I'm a shareholder. They've been on a great run here, 36 to 44. I can't really complain too much about that. But the last one here, and Amazon here, there's actually been I want to say several companies have had sort of labor issues going into the end of the year and the new paradigm that we have overall in labor markets. And Amazon has probably been at the forefront of that as well. I mean, there's been John Deere has run into some issues, but yeah, talk us through what's going on with Amazon.
Sure. So, I mean, this is a huge victory for, Amazon employees. And really, this is a massive victory for labor rights, anywhere in the United States and the world. Essentially, what has happened is that Amazon has settled 6 National Labor Relations Boards cases, and they are now required to, among other things, notify their workers of their rights and let workers organize on company property outside of their shift time. Controversially, this was something that they just did not allow. The previous policy basically said that employees were not allowed to be around the warehouse, delivery, or other facilities more than 15 minutes before their shift. And this policy was designed to prevent exactly that, to prevent people from organizing and to prevent people from creating unions. So they were in a very surreptitious way, and in some cases a not very surreptitious way, union busting. Now the settlements with the NLRB states that Amazon is legally required to notify its workers that they are obligated to let them create or join any unions, and it can't retaliate against them for protective activities or staying on company property after their shift for organizational activities. So this is a massive, massive win for Amazon employees, and a huge win for labor rights organizers. And it's going to, I'm very, very curious to see how this is going to shake out, with other organizations that are struggling with this sort of thing. Starbucks is a perfect example of that. They've really kind of ramped up their efforts into union busting, and now I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, a store in Buffalo is the first Starbucks store to allow its employees to create a union. So a huge win.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that. I may or may not have listened to on the radio an interview that a certain Mr. Kramer had with someone from that Starbucks union, which was quite interesting. And again, just trying to keep abreast of the market. Now, Amazon has been sort of shrugging this off in terms of stock performance. It's been in a bit of a channel, certainly, but it's not necessarily a new per se. It's just that we're finally coming to a head here. So possibly a good sign that it could put this behind them and break out. Before we end off here, I know you mentioned to us earlier on in the week that you love hockey. You scored 7 goals in that game, which I think is a pretty amazing feat. I don't know a ton about hockey, but I'm pretty sure. 7 points in the game is pretty spectacular. Are you going to be lacing them up over the break?
Absolutely. I mean, I'd like to see kind of where Omicron kind of ends up. Is it Omicron or Omicron? Omicron. I'd like to see where Omicron kind of ends up. But if indoor hockey is not a thing, then outdoor hockey it will be. Fortunately, I live about 5 minutes away from an outdoor hockey rink, so there is literally no excuse for me to go out there. So yes, absolutely, we'll be lacing them up.
Like a true Canadian, of course, living not too far. Everybody in Canada lives not too far away, apparently, from a rink. Once again. Thank you very much, Justin, for coming through. Can't wait to have you back. I won't be here next week. Hopefully, you'll be here talking to Brendan and the crew. And once again, enjoy your holidays, enjoy your beverage, and we hope to talk to you soon. There we go. And look, I actually was just watching Amazon. Look, it's actually going to turn and possibly turn red on the session. And this is the thing about today's market, right? You actually haven't had necessarily every single tech name sort of participating in this rally. There have been a few laggards, Amazon chiefly among them, and overall Amazon actually has been a large laggard in the last several weeks as we're heading towards all-time highs. You have what I think is one of the better value, not necessarily value plays, but kind of a value play out of the FANG names, down 10% from a double top high and poised to break out. At some point, it's going to catch up. This is a business that's going absolutely nowhere, regardless of what labor issues they might have. And I got to have a sip.
First of all, yeah, so we do like Amazon. Cheers, Arun. Notice the glasses. Cheers.
Yeah, I knew that was happening while that was going on. I'm like, this is not fair. This is not fair.
So we need another one. So Miss V if you're not too busy,
No, I'm tapped out. I'm done.
you're not.
I can't. I can't keep up with you. I just can't.
Keep up with me. It's one drink.
I'm
bro.
sorry. I'm done. I need to
You're
go back.
200 pounds.
I'm going back to water.
Ms. V, when you get a second, I'll take a refresher there. But the thing is, I want to see what's going on with
Brad.
Yeah, with Prad. So that's the other thing too. You're seriously.
Yeah, I can. If I go any more, then I won't be able to make it home, and that's not,
What?
yeah.
Okay, so cheap drunk alert.
Here's the issue with this, right? This reminds me of the Trini drink Punch de Creme, which is a
Right.
very dangerous drink for anyone who's had it.
But we're monitoring you though, Arun. Like you still have an hour and 10 minutes.
no.
Like legally, you can have a drink. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
I'm done.
No peer pressure because peer pressure is wrong. And I'm not going to bully Arun into having more, as a grown man, more than one drink. I'm not
Here's the
going
thing.
to
You
pressure
can say whatever you want. I'm not drinking anymore. But here's the thing, right?
I'm just playing.
I don't drink on the regular as it is.
Neither do I. This is the first drink I
Right.
had all week.
The last time I had a
Thursday.
drink was a very long time ago. So I've been mostly about the water game. And now today I'm definitely feeling that one drink. I'm a cheap drink. Yes, I am. I am a cheap drunk with that one drink, which was diluted with eggnog, by the way. But yeah, I'm done.
People saying I'm drunk already, then you haven't seen the show. Let's put it that way. Yeah, okay. So what were we talking about again? Merck? No, it was Amazon. I'm just playing around. Look, I think Amazon's going to be a great. Okay. Bitcoin right now 51. Yeah, Bitcoin's starting to go right now 51 and change. It's not going too crazy. Just broke through 51, going up to 51.39.7 right now. So yeah, Bitcoin taking out 50,000 and a good thing. And I talked about this yesterday. I'm going to be seeing obviously my family over the holidays, and I finally was able to get my father into some managed family money, and yeah, we bought some Bitcoin at 45, 46. I can't remember the exact price. I think it was like 45.6, something like that. So it's nice to see Bitcoin going, and it's also nice to see our boy Cardano going ham right now today, guys. Cardano up huge, up to 146 right now today. So a lot of stuff rocking and rolling. And I actually got Papa Katina into HUT as well, which has been a monster trade here the last couple of days on. I mean, just up today, from $7.90 up to $9 as it continues to go upside right there, just off some of these bottoms. I mean, we like that. And again, the crypto space, it's not going to be for everyone, man. I mean, not everyone's going to want to invest in some of these names. We could look at a few different things. Mara is one that I know a lot of you are on, so that should be up today for sure. Let's look at a 1 minute. Yeah, I mean, Mara rocking and rolling. I mean, whenever these altcoins definitely start to go through. I want Ms. Vita to make.
No, she was getting out of the
She's right behind you. I think it'd be better. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it.
While these guys are making their drinks, I am looking at the chat going absolutely nuts, calling me a wuss. Yes,
It's not. You're not a wuss.
I submit. I am a lightweight for sure because it's been a very long time since I've had a drink, so I'm definitely feeling very quickly. And I'm not going to go past this just because I know what happens if I go down this road.
No peer pressure,
especially with these drinks too, because the eggnog and the cream hides the alcohol. So when it kicks in, you are out, and it's too late by then.
But yeah, agreed, 100% agreed. But this is not going to kick in. This is 2 shots of rum. I mean, we should be okay here. Maybe we don't do another one, but we are driving home, so drink responsibly. And also, guys, I mean, don't forget, honestly, like we are being responsible here. We're not taking shots to the head or anything like that. The last one I poured was at 2:30. So I mean, I can have a drink in 25 minutes and be perfectly fine. But what's up, Mr. Roberts? How's your drink going, by the way?
It's going okay. Now, apparently, there's a market that's still moving here, so we'll get to some names. Qualogen. It's hilarious. Valeria just told me how to pronounce this company because I'm sitting there like I can't pronounce this thing. So QLGN just broke a double top here. Oh, it's gonna be one of those. Brendan would never be bumbling like this, but just broke out, double top, 160 got taken out. I'm looking at the daily chart here, and $2 stands out as a previous resistance level. There's not a heck of a lot in the way of it. The volume is pretty solid as this one is churning to the upside. By way of news, I mean, much like a lot of these, there's not a heck of a lot. You go back a couple of weeks ago to find anything interesting, and that was like their CEO was remaining on, and that was on December 14th. So just another low float runner here that seems to be going. So it's crazy. Like if you just had a scanner for, I suppose, I'm just throwing this out here, like anything with a float lower than 60 million.
Right.
And then a relative volume spike, breaking high of the day, maybe something that's up more than 5 or 10%, and then just go along. I kind of feel like this week you couldn't lose with that, right?
First of all,
There's a lot happening on this desk.
I'm loading up Rob's drink right now as we speak. So
he says.
Here you go. And by the way, Arun, look, I'm not. What do you mean? So I say.
We don't know.
Well,
if
I think
that's
I'm
you.
double fisting. What am I in a club here?
It's Sean, I believe it.
But Neil knows a story about me in a club. Like if I get 2 drinks, here you go.
Hold on a second. That's an actual. I do know this.
That's a true story.
Full Sean move. Like the
Oh,
whole.
Pratt's here.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Now we're starting to get up there. Okay, Mr. Pratt.
Oh, Pratt, come on.
Take the eggnog. Pratt is in the building right now, guys.
You can
take the eggnog and take the rum and then go stand beside Neil there and we're going to have a drink together.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Ready to rock and roll. Yeah, don't show that view. We're going to show them when he's standing up there. Pratt is in the building, so he's going to try some
really
of this.
never had
I
it.
just want to see his reaction.
Never had it?
All right, take it away, Arun. I was focusing on filling up drinks.
Okay,
and
the
whatnot.
only thing I can focus
I feel like
on
an elf
right
over
now,
here.
Yeah, the only thing I can focus on is coin. I noticed that people were talking about coin. Before we continue on with coin, I know somebody in the chat was asking Sean for you to say bang. They have missed it. Just
I don't know if the bang thing's on here, but I did want to talk about it. I'll hit the bang. Let me get out of a trade first. You know what? I don't have the bang on this thing actually now.
while you find that, I'll go to coin.
Right, no, I can't
Coin
find
was
it.
one
I
of
don't
those
have it.
trades, man. I had this trade early this morning. I felt there was a nice little read to work with, and then I just dumped it, making very little on this trade. It was at around 254. I got that long, 254 something, 254.13 or something like that, and then it just. You see the run in coin, right? It just stopped just shy of 270. It's around 269 and change. Now it's at 268.25. Absolute tear on coin here, up 5%, $13. It would have been a nice little pickup to hold during the day. The reason why, and I'll go through the reason why I went for this trade in the first place. Nice little 3-day rally, and we had a ton of space to the upside, and the way it was setting up as well. It gave us enough space to go for the long. Obviously, you're hoping to get this kind of a move, but I don't know. I just jumped the gun on that exit. So biggest regret of the day is coin. Although I am positive on coin with a 25-cent winner, it is quite the run. It could have been a nice little $15 move on coin. So here we are stuck with GME, which is for 45 cents, 50 cents in the money at the moment. It is kind of leaking a little bit. So we're still long with that 51 long. 53 exits on the first half, and now we're holding on to the rest. And I think if it breaks 51, I think we'll be just done with it and call it a day.
Someone wants the oh my god one. All right.
Oh my God.
Oh, what? What? Okay, I'll do it. I don't have the bang
Oh my
one, so I got to do
God.
that. And by the way, someone said like Brendan's going to crack the whip when he gets back. I don't think people understand how this works around here. Brendan ain't cracking anything on this guy. No, they're saying like Brendan's going to right this ship when he gets back.
Oh, no, he just ignores everything. That's it.
That's not
That's
that.
what
He
he's
does,
good
it's not.
at.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's just do that. You want me to do a live stream in Vegas? That would be sick, right? I mean, I do want to come over to Vegas at one point. We did get stopped out of ENSC, though, as that goes all the way back down and breaks through 5. So ENSC, again, we're up on the name. It's a completely good trade here. We only held a small bit, but we did average into that, and it does break the bottom, so we did give some of that ENSC money back. This was a little bit of a silly break, but it did break the high of the day. Pratt's going to go over to his desk. I see that he has one on right now. So, I mean, it's just very important.
Is it just the eggnog, or is there alcohol? Okay, there's alcohol in there. Okay.
Milk. No,
Milk.
what is going on?
Flavored milk, my man.
Oh, Neil made it. Ooh,
He
I
said
thought
milk, yeah.
Didn't he?
He did say milk.
There we go. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Whoever made it. But thank you so much for that. And we will be going over, and we're going to be doing like a cheers. So can you get a pip up of all of us? Rob's going to work. Okay, that's fine. We could do a Val and Prad drink, so that should be fine. We'll do that. I just want to give a big cheers to everybody. If you have a drink with you, salute. Hopefully.
Val, you have one too, right? Oh, she hasn't. Yeah,
Have you tasted it
makes
yet?
sense to have them both because they've never had it.
But hold on a second. You have not tasted it.
No, not yet.
Okay, here we go. All right. 1, 2, 3, Prad, and go ahead.
He likes it.
No, be honest.
It's good,
that's good.
honestly.
Okay, there you
Very
go.
good.
That's good.
No egg taste at all. It's good.
There we
Is
go.
there alcohol in that one, Valeria? Is there alcohol or just eggnog?
There is.
There is? Oh, you're going to feel that later.
Easy, Arun. Easy, Arun.
It's
She
light.
can actually handle
I'm
that booze
Russian.
there, buddy.
Yeah, she might be able to handle
But
it.
do you understand that she's Russian, Arun?
Oh, that's true. I did.
you?
No,
Yeah.
this is absolutely no problem. So Prad, comments quickly.
Better than I expected it. No egg taste at all, and I actually like it. Can't complain.
All right. There we go. All right, let's go. Back to us now. Rob, thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your drink. And there it is. So, see, I had said that, although it was an acquired taste, I had said that I thought there might be some negative reactions to that. But I would just say, guys, if you can, go out, pick up some eggnog, pick up some rum, try it. We've talked about it with bourbon as well. But let's just rock and roll. Someone said, how could Sean be doing this and holding all these positions? First of all, they're not huge positions, that's for sure. And second of all, they're not really moving. AMC is just a dance around position right now. You can see nothing's happening. We were short, got blown out at the very top there, but made some money anyways in all of this. A little bit of money, but we're still negative on AMC. But watching this go through, the only level I'm really worried about is, again, taking out the top, which may or may not happen. I also don't mind taking a short into, you guys aren't going to like this, I know, but taking a short into 28.50 here on a break, back down maybe to view up. So that's a trade that I'm looking at. I have my order ready to go for that. So if there's anything happening on AMC, I should be able to get involved. A break of 28.50 downside, basically where we opened. I think we have a lot of trading happening upside now at 29. AMC trying to hold green on the day. So it's a name that I'm looking at, and I do like a 28.50 break here on AMC. So let's see if that can happen. But I think Christmas is a big movie time, right? So you could come in on Monday and really see, the results from not Batman, Spider-Man there.
Matrix.
And yeah, does Matrix, is it?
I think it's out as of yesterday.
Okay, so it's out. So there you go. So that's another catalyst to the upside come Monday on AMC. Let's just see if people are going to be a little nervous about that and take some profit, come out. I mean, remember, this thing was $21, $22 at the beginning of the week. So you could see some profit taking as maybe options and whatnot start to expire here at close. So let's wait to see what happens on a 28.50 break to the downside. That's where I'm going to get involved. What's up, Neil?
Again, I'm probably going to only be giving you these small cap runners here, but BFRI, you guys know this one. It just broke out at $12 and tried to get through on a huge volume spike, came right back down. It's kind of tricky for me on Brendan's layout to show you the level too, so I'll try to do this for you because there's some guy sitting here for 30,000 shares right at $12 as it's trying to reclaim the level. So strong move. Again, another low float runner. It just broke, got to $12.50 on a dime, is reversed, and now has a seller holding the level at 12 even on the offer. So look, if you are going to be trading, these are names that you should be in. ENSC, by the way, this is why we talked about having stop orders, right? So it gets pretty binary at some of these levels. I did stop out myself on ENSC, so I'm going to take a hit here on the long as it broke that low of the day. It did try to recover through $5 here after breaking, but looks like the air is starting to come out of ENSC.
Not just ENSE, but market stocks or stocks in the market that have been going up strong for the day. I noticed the futures coming off a few points here from the highs. Disney was a name that was put in the chat. I was looking at Disney earlier. Ignore the trades in Disney. This was when Rob told me that I have to test the system again. So I'm like, ugh. So I still made money, but I took that trade as a test trade. But here we are. I was looking at 154 as a potential area to work with, not on the long side, on the short side. That's why you see this pink arrow here. The reason I did the test trade on the short side is because where we are. If you, this is a daily chart. If you go back to about late November or so, it looks like everything between 154 and 156 seems to be like somewhat of a hesitation level. So if we can fade a rally into that move, I remember there being a question about, in the last couple of days about what a fade means. It means I'm looking to go against the current trend. In this case, to the upside, I'm looking to kind of short the current trend. As long as I get the right setup, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So here's what I was looking for, just a short, somewhere around this 154 with the 156 stop, just because of where we are, right? If we can get a stall out somewhere in this range, it would be a nice little move. Obviously, I took that test trade, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to walk away from it. I don't want any part of it. But now I see this market actually falling off here. I don't want to say the market falling off, but at least the stock, this specific stock, has fallen off about 50 cents or so. So as we come down from 154.20 down to 153.76, I think this kind of opens the door for potential shorts in the coming days, right? At least about Monday or Tuesday. There's got to be something I can do with this 154 and 156 level. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Disney, one of those names, it is hitting resistance, so definitely watch that. And GME, I think it's time to walk away from this trade. It's not doing what I needed to do, and we're also running out of time, so might as well come in, cut the spread, and maybe walk away with somewhat of a slight profit. I am long at 151.04. See if I can't make away with a few pennies at least.
All right, we just walked away from Win as well. I mean, we're noticing that the market is obviously coming to the downside right now. So, yo, what's up, Maggie? What's up, Miss V? Coming back to the downside right now, and yeah, this is going to be a good close. Trust me. Coming back in, we'll see what happens now to Win. I just didn't want to hold this breaking through 88, so that's sort of where the stop order was planted, and we don't really need to experience that. So we'll take it out and wait to see what happens on that one. But right now, Win starting to go back to the downside. So that's a name that I want to be careful with here trading that. CCL, another position that we have on right now, not really doing too much. Let me check out on Palantir. I actually haven't traded that today. 19. Yeah, I mean, this market right now, to steal a word from one of our viewers that we stole a long time ago, barcoding. I mean, the market's falling down here, so you got to find some stocks that are making the move that you like to the long side. So what's a strong stock today? I mean, what about AMD? That's been pretty strong all day. So back down to 146. We had that one long, and I was like, you remember when I was debating getting out of this? And I was like, you know what? It's $1 in the money. Maybe I'll just take it. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Well, I mean, there it is right there, comes right through and then just rips up to 148 off of our 145 long. So all good on that one. If we can do a check, Brad, I want to see the situation on your drink. How much left? No, not good enough. So there you go. Oh, hell yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
He's right
Prad
back
knows
home.
what's good right there.
Yeah, his
Prad
ride back
knows
home
what's
on
good.
Brampton Transit's gonna be nice.
This is the whole point. This is the whole point we're trying to do right now. We're trying to have some fun there. Good job there, Prad. I'm with you, my man. And it's going, like I said, it's already going to be a good close. I see Maggie getting excited there to pour herself a drink. That should be fun as well. We're really, really happy. It's going to be a good close here, Arun.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to walk my way out of this GME trade here. I'm still waiting to get an offer. There we go. We just got some exits there. We're completely done. That's it. No more stocks for the end of till the end of the day. We're net positive on everything I've traded except for two names. Well, ignoring Siri being the test trade this morning to get the system started. Piton, I actually want to talk about my two losers just because I actually think that they actually did, the reversal trade was actually quite good. I just completely missed them. This is the trade that I wish I had. So I know one of our viewers caught this trade on the long side. Now, I went for the short south of 36, and I realized that because of the way it was reacting around 36, that was a level I was working with, by the way. So as soon as it started acting like this, I'm like, you know what, it's time to walk away. I wanted to flip this trade, and my bid was like a couple cents off this low, which was at 54. I was sitting a little bit lower than that. And never got the fill, and it just took off. That was a great, like $2 or so on Piton off a failed break. It wasn't even a failed break, to be fair. The stop was like somewhere around the 38 level. I just never really let it go that high because of the way it was moving around. That was one trade where I missed. It was great. The flip on that trade was the great read, which I completely missed out on that. So net negative on Piton because of that initial short. And then AMD, you just saw me get out of that one there, where I went long north of 148. We just got out south of 147. So the two negatives there on Piton, AMD, and then we got Crocs, GME, Qualcomm, and Coinbase all making money, although Coinbase could have made a ton more money if I just held on to it, because that one is up $15 from that entry point.
Jeez, yeah, we talked about that. I know there's a lot of people talking Coinbase for 2022. So that's going to be a big play. And I think that if you guys wanted something in that space, man, in the crypto space, and you don't hold anything, I do like Coinbase for their potential. So check out that name or HUD8. I mean, we've talked about that. Okay, yeah, there it is. NVIDIA. I was just looking at what NVIDIA's high was there today. Did it break 300? Yeah, it just barely broke 300 there at $300.50. So that's a name here that I'm very, very interested in. I've been loading up on NVIDIA. I sold that Tesla. I bought some NVIDIA, things like that. Now Tesla's off. We could check a Tesla out in a minute too. The one name that just moved that I see a lot of people in the chat talking about is BFRI. That moved all the way up to 1250. So that's another name there that just took off just now. 250, yeah, so 20 minutes ago. It absolutely rocketed up there. And the thing is, this is why you got to be very, very careful. Like, sure, I got out of ENSC, and that last trade wasn't the greatest, but sometimes you got to hold some of these runners like a SOPA, like a BFRI, and then just, you wait for that volume to come in there, and then you see what's happening. And then, so that's just one of those things now that you got to wait for. And BFRI right now paying off. What is the... Yeah, so these are new levels now for BFRI. We got as high as $15 yesterday, or 2 days ago, sorry. And let's see, we just took out yesterday's high of 12. You're now at 12.25. BFRI could continue to be one of those runners here in the afternoon. Anyways, that goes breaks this 1250. So again, you're gonna have to pay for shorts. It's gonna be tough, but at the same time, I think BFRI right now, I prefer the short because we have the consolidation, and then maybe a breakthrough down to 12. So if you're long BFRI, I wouldn't hold this too much past 12. I mean, I don't know if there's any other names you guys want us to look at here. Disney's been up pretty nice, man. Thank you so much to some of you out here. Someone said that Sean said managed family money. That sounds Italian. Yeah, well, yeah. I do love Neil's sweater, but I love the Grinch. Yeah, it's the Grinch, but yeah, thank you so much for that one. Oh yeah, there's a poll, but I can't vote on the poll. So we don't know what that problem is. SOPA, okay. Valeria always has the best outfit, so that doesn't really count. All right, let's look over there at SOPA, see what is popping off right now. 16, yeah, so remember, Rune, you know what? I didn't know the price, but we could have done a game, right? Where we would have said, like, where's SOPA? And we talked about it yesterday, hovering around 16 all afternoon. Yeah. And then we get that huge break. And remember, we had that super chat yesterday, and someone asked us what to do with SOPA. And I remember when it was up here this morning, I said, take another piece off, right? I mean, and now it drops right back down. SOPA could take off one more time. And again, it's holding that 15 level. So if we go back here on a 20-minute chart, that's a daily chart. I got to find my 20-minute chart. But SOPA's, here it is. SOPA's held. Here it is right here. They've held this $15 level for a bit here. So let's see if that works out for us. And that's, an area of concern for me right now, SOPA, as it's looking to take that out.
Clear win on the poll. Neil, 40%, taking the win there for the Christmas outfit poll. And of course, your boy came in last place. It's not surprising.
Who, me?
No, me.
It's not over yet. What are the numbers on that
poll's closed.
Poll is closed?
Yeah.
What are the votes?
Poll complete, 241 votes. So
10.
So
Come to me for a second. Hold on a second. We need to put the poll back up. Like, I understand it's fine. I'd be happy to take the winner. I actually thought last year's was better than this one, but so we'll get the poll back up. We should just recreate the poll because it's got to be open until the end of the day, obviously. And because there's a market happening, there's a bit of a rally happening in small caps. So if you've been bag holding some of these names, you're probably happy with this. And you guys in the chat were talking about CEI. I don't see a catalyst for it, but any penny stock that gets close to $1 is worth a watch. So I won't be here next week because I'm heading off to see my brother. But maybe you get a crack at CEI $1 next week. It's been a rough, obviously, last quarter of the year for Camber Energy. But since it broke that $1 range last week, it's been short-lived. If it could take it back out in just a couple of days, not a bad false break down if it could hold that level.
I did want to say something here because Arun is actually, he's not in his Christmas gear. You took it off. You have the hat on now, so it's actually not fair to vote on Arun's outfit.
No, I was going to lose anyways. It was not going to happen. I was not going to put in that much effort, so I just took the L on that one there anyways. But to be fair, I got told of this 2 days ago, so I had no chance of getting a sweater.
Update.
You should finish that. You should start your third. I think.
Yeah, and I'm a bad influence.
I think you can do it.
Arun, I'm parked beside you.
I think you can do it.
Oh, I could do it. I could do it, no problem.
You have 50 minutes before, and then if you spend some time after the market's closed, I think
we've got a floss happening right
now.
there.
You know what you could do? You and Prad can start your
I
next
don't live in Brampton. I mean, Neil should be giving a ride home to Prad. I mean, they're both taking public transportation, so.
Yeah, but Neil's got places to be.
No,
yeah, that's right.
Honestly, I'm literally like, I get in the door, I probably can change, or I might not even do that, then I'm straight to the airport, dude. Like,
I think you should change. But I mean, we love the sweater.
No, you know what? Just because you said that, I'm going to wear this on the flight then.
Good,
How about that?
I think you should.
How about that?
Yeah, I definitely think you should. The thing is, when you're traveling on a plane, it's good to get in like, your jogging pants, get some nice
Well, that's what I usually do, Sean, but
yes, exactly. So jogging pants and Christmas sweater. You won't be alone, I don't think, today on the plane. That is for sure. So let's talk about Tesla quickly. TSLA here. It was up 5 or 6%, I think, at its high. Ooh, I think it's its high right now. Tesla's starting to rip. Even though the NASDAQ came to the downside right here, let's just check out. That's my 20-minute chart, so we don't need that. We don't need the day chart. We need the minute chart right now. As Tesla, pretty close to the high. 1070 today, the high, down to 1064 right now. What a great, this is embarrassing that we were long down here. you know, and then Tesla just takes off. I don't really understand what the catalyst was here today on Tesla, but it was beat down the last little while. Obviously, the catalyst would be Elon Musk talking about the amount of shares that he's selling and whatnot. But for right now, Tesla continues to make some money for investors all the way to back up, 5%, back up to 1070. It's been a great trade. That is amazing. So let's just see if that can hold out some of these highs. Ford still above 20 bucks. Clover holding out. Let's check out to see, just because I am in a Grinch kind of mood, which I'm not really, let's check out PaySafe, which has taken all my money away from me, but at least it's battling back now. PaySafe stuck above 4 bucks. It's been a nice little run the last couple days here on this name, but doesn't mean it's been a good run overall. PaySafe's been absolutely destroyed. We'll talk about this maybe we won't when we get back from Miss V.
Hey Sean, Neil just confirmed with me that I was long on Tesla, and what a beautiful day for Tesla. It's still at 1063, and for those who watch Market Movers show, you know guys that I was pointing at that 60-ish level for Tesla to get. I was long on Tesla, but I regret a little bit, have a little bit FOMO, because here I got in at 1025 and got out at 1030, and it went all the way to 1070. Anyways, money is the money, even though paper money for me. So yes, I'm super happy about Tesla and looking forward where it will go on Monday.
Absolutely.
For a second, because hey, this is still a trading show and we can talk. I'm not in anything right now. I'm actually out. I can see Sean's trimming positions slowly and Arun's out, but if we can go to, I don't know if we can do this. Can we have Valeria's chart up while I'm talking? Is that possible? Okay, so look, one of the great things about trading, we always tell people to do this, like never trade in single lots, always trade in multiple lots so that you can take multiple exit points. If people trade the futures, we say never take one contract. If you can, take 2 or 3 so that you can get out multiple times. Now, the key about that is, and the only thing I would say about that trade, it's an excellent entry point. You left yourself with a third out, and it never threatened you. If you look at that breakout price, that 1025 mark, it does one slight pullback after your first exit point and snaps back to the upside. That's very bullish. It then holds that level again. A lot of times you want to let something like that ride. You can put a stop in below that recent low when it broke 1025 and then ride it to the top. But hey, I didn't even have a Tesla trade today. It's been on our watch list most days, not today. And we've been staring at it and watching it make this run. Fantastic trade, Miss V. Her growth has been pretty impressive. That's one of the fun things we've had around here. It's not just the community that we have and you guys learning trading. Miss V is trying to go live in the new year. One of the things that's going to get her there is not just trading Tesla, because that's a tricky stock on a small shutdown.
I was short on SOPO also today, Neil. Sitting next to you definitely improves my trades.
Well, Trader Prad, I think, is doing a fantastic job as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No, and I think that's right. I was just saying, sitting beside Trader Prad, you get one aspect of trading, and then Neil, you're going to get another aspect. So I think that's what the important thing is about our community here. You hear Prad talk about that all the time on the show, is learning from each other. And I'm going to be I think we're all going to be really proud when Ms. V can go live and make more. I mean, I don't know if I'll be proud if she makes more money than me, but either way, very, very good there. Prad, what is that? That's not super chicken again, is it there? What do you got? What do you got over there?
Oh, he actually
ate the food today. Okay. I see that. Trader Prad, was it okay today, Prad? The stuffed chicken?
He approves. Okay.
Yepers. Okay, he's got a mouthful. Obviously, you don't want to talk when he has a mouthful. But so just an update here. We did take that AMC trade. We talked about that on the short side. It does break through 28.50. It only goes down to 40. We didn't get any out there. We were waiting for VWAP, so now we're just going to have to be patient and let AMC try to work itself out. Shout out to Jacqueline Cobb. I see you back in the chat now. Thanks for coming back. That's great. PaySafe gets worst stock of 2021 award. Yeah, probably. That's been an absolute disaster, PaySafe. There's been a lot of these names, though, that have really struggled lately. Upstart, Affirm, PaySafe, even PayPal that we really like has been great. Great to the downside, but I think there's still some nice upside potentials there as my eyes going up. We talked about it when we talked about the Christmas rally, the Santa Claus rally coming through an AAPL here on the NASDAQ. my call, and it was down to when we did it, whatever, it was at 175, you're now at 176. But I was just talking about Apple being a name that you sort of got to buy. And I steal this from Kramer, own, don't trade. You know, I really think that if, you know, like I got out some at 152, I remember that. And then it tanked down to I don't remember where it was down into here, 140 and change, and never got back in. We've been buying, we put that capital to work elsewhere, but what a great move it is all the way back up to the upside. And I just think Apple with tons of tailwinds on that company, and I really like them. And another name, because Jacqueline's in the building, we've talked to her about Upstart a couple times. This is another one that, you know, like, are they just not executing properly? Because they were up here at 400, now you drop all the way back down to 150. Like, what in the, like, you know, I still feel like market structure and everything is broken, because when this kind of happens, you shouldn't get this kind of a move down. Like, now you're $250 out of the money on this call. If you bought it at the highs, hopefully no one bought it there, but you may have bought it in here or even here at 280, right? And on the way down. But right now, this is a name where I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work. This could be one of the names for pick of 2022, because we're starting to bounce off of 120. This does have a lot of upside to Upstart. So I really, really like this name down here. More work needs to be done before I'm going to stamp this as the play of 2022. But right now, Upstart down to 140. Like, let's see what their next quarter brings. But I like this name down here. It's bouncing off some of these levels that it's already bounced off before. So I like Upstart, and I think there's a little bit of potential there moving forward. But I mean, always invest in the indexes and then start to pick some stocks. If you're just starting out an account now, buy the Qs, buy the spiders, and then put your next capital to work in some of these names. Because if you only have 10 grand to invest and you put all 10 grand into a name and it fails on you, it could take you a while to build that back up. We know the market's not going to go from 400 to 150.
Yeah, when you talk about starting out, Sean was alluding to the fact that you start with ETFs or indexes. Futures contracts, you need to know more about futures contracts and how they operate before you decide to go for them. The issue is with futures contracts is that they roll every 3 months. So there's a rollover for the next contract every 3 months, and that means you got to be on top of your game when it comes to expiration dates and whatnot. So just be smart about what you're doing if you decide to go with futures. Alternative, go for the Qs, go for the spiders. Valeria?
Hey Arun, guys, first of all, I'm wanting to let you know that Natalie made a new video TikTok with me and Prad. And I would really appreciate if you go to Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter, give us a like, write a comment, what you think about this. And of course, we're having so much fun today, and we need more likes from you. 2,600 people are watching, and we have just 500 likes. Guys, this is the last trading day of this week. Please give us 1,000 likes before we go for 3 days holidays and back on Monday. Back to you guys.
Back to trading on Monday. I think that's going to be the key thing too. As quiet as this week has been, I think next week should be more active. From my experience, especially the last few days of the trading year, I want to say Friday, maybe Wednesday on at least, we should have some activity as people try to close up shop for the year, right? There should be a ton of movement, especially in portfolios and whatnot. If it hasn't already been done on the rebalance day, which was on the 17th, it should be going into the last few days of the year. So we should get some activity there. Hopefully it picks up, because I would love to make some more trades. I've been fairly quiet on the futures, even though futures have gone ridiculous in the last 3 days. We've essentially gone from a low of 45.20 on the futures here. So it's not even on this chart, but 45.20 on Monday, the 20th. It was Monday. Yeah. Monday, 45.20 low. And here we are 200 points higher at 47.25. And apart from Monday's low, it's just been 3 straight trading days up aggressively. So here we are, 200 points. Nice little move on the futures. And as we get closer to the end of the year, should bring back some volume at least as we close up the year. Valeria?
Hey guys, me again. I just wanted to say such a great thank you to all of you for all the Christmas wishes. And we've got a super chat from M. Corby. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. This is the best trading community online. I'm in a couple of blank check companies. What is your predictions for SPACs in 2022? Do you guys have any predictions for SPACs in the following year?
Thank you, Ms. V. What a great, fantastic question. Just an update. Drink number 2. Done. But that's it, because we got to go home, so we're going to be responsible. And I want to say to everybody, Arun and I also drinking the water. So you gotta stay hydrated, make sure that you're responsible about all this. So thanks for the super chat. It's an absolutely fantastic question. The thing about SPACs, honestly, is just they're just blank checks, and you put that in your super chat. And I think if, is Reddit going to come through from a SPAC? And if you pick the right one, then I think, that's going to be a home run. So I'm very, very nervous in this rate environment with inflation where it is, with the Fed no longer being very dovish. They're very hawkish right now. I think that companies coming to market with little to no profits and with outlooks that are 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road for profitability, something like that, like an Uber, something like that. Like if Uber came public today, it would be a disaster. Now they're fine because they've built it up. But when they came public, they didn't have any revenues. Well, they had revenues, but they didn't have any profits, right? And I think that, with these blank check companies coming in the current rate environment, you sort of need to be producing now, which is why I think a Discord or a Reddit or somebody like that that's going to come out, take one of these blank checks and become, from a SPAC into a name, then I like those companies. But right now, a lot of these SPACs that are coming through, we could talk about the EV space, but whatever. We already know all those. I just feel like it's not the right environment right now to be taking shots. It's just, I'd rather put my money into higher quality businesses. But if you do have your ear to the ground and you can pick the right names, then I'm all for it. I mean, there's winners every single day in this market. Just do your due diligence. I think that's what 2022 is going to be all about. Picking the right stocks that have not just a growth outlook, but also have some sort of a scale to profitability where we can actually get a price to earnings ratio above 0. Mr. Roberts' neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, usually I just sort of like chime in right next to you there, and now I have to call for it. It's like, yeah, come to me. I want to talk about that because, look, you're right about that. I mean, you got to be making money in next year, and that's going to be a big thing. But if you're in a blank check company, I think it's if you have to be invested in that space, at least consider the fact that if you get in on the ground floor before a deal is signed and you're just in the blank check, hey, you can always pull out when they sign a deal. You can always go back, get your $10 or whatever works out to be. If you don't like what it is that they sign, that gives you a little bit of a free roll and a bit of a backstop. So that's the one way to protect. You've got to be in early because if the performance has not been fantastic for a lot of these if you've gotten in after the deal has been signed. Now, every now and then you're going to get one that has some hype behind it, that's got a good company, that's got a good product, that's got a good idea that captures minds. But ultimately, I do think the better way to play it is if you happen to believe in the blank check, in the acquirer. That can be a better way to do it. It's a safer way to get involved in them. I'm not a huge fan in general. You talked a little bit about some names that could be good. We mentioned AMAT several times here, and I happen to have it up because right now I'm just sort of scanning things, watching as the market's barcoding off the top, and I love where they're sitting right now on the daily, just sort of consolidating for a potential breakout. If we get the Santa Claus rally that we're talking about, then you can have AMAT potentially breaking that 160 level to an all-time high. And if you think about the chip space and the metaverse and how to be able to play, well, everyone's thinking NVIDIA, rightfully so. And you can go down the line. I mean, Marvell's a great play for that. Micron just blew out earnings. But what about Applied Materials? Sometimes it's a little bit easier to go back to the other end of the industry, not necessarily directly in the chip makers. Whether it's Lam, whether it's going to be AMAT here, other ways that you can play. I'm a fan of AMAT. I love what they have a chance to be able to do next year. And the other thing is, there is going to be growth in that sector. Everything has chips in it. This is how we live. Everything has multiple chips in it these days. We just had the shortage. There is no chance in the next 5-10 years there won't be growth in that sector. And on that note, outside of AMAT, outside of the chip makers, I think it's AMAT, and then if you're across the pond, ASML, which is a banger of a stock. They got a gold mine. They print money with that machine they got, Sean.
Yeah, going back to your AMAT.
You could trade ASML here, too.
You could.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right.
It's like a $600 stock. But.
Going back to your AMAT read there, Neil, I want to tie in this with what Bradley asked me. He's like, what are your thoughts on multi-time frame alignment? I would highly advise using a multi-time frame, multiple chart system, just because it kind of helps timing, right? So you start from the kind of like the large picture view and then zoom in to help your timing. So the way I do it, at least, this has got the weekly. This is not what I want. On AMAT, We can see on the daily chart that there's a nice little range here, multi-day range going back to November. High is sitting somewhere north of 159. We're going to round that up to 160. Bottom is going to be the December 6th bottom is going to be somewhere around 141. Round that down to 140. Put the levels in. The range is in play, right? So anytime we get to the top end of the range, you know there's going to be resistance because, well, we've fallen off a couple times. So what I like to do when I look at charts like this is, oh, you know, we're hitting the top end of the range, and then I'll dial it in into the daily chart, from the daily chart into the 5-minute chart. And sometimes I'll use a 32. It depends on what I need in terms of information. But then I just dial it into a smaller chart and be like, okay, well, I know we're in an area which has provided resistance before. This market is going up. Give me something on the smaller time frame chart so I can actually fade it or maybe find the trade that I'm looking for. In this case, if we're at the top end of the range and I know 160 is going to be the stop, then anything north of 156, I would be like, oh, you know what, set it up. We'll go for the short. Now, AMAT's not one of those trades I was looking for today because I honestly didn't have it up. At the same time, it's not on my radar as well, right? Now I know what it looks like. I'm definitely going to be adding it. So thanks to Neil for talking about AMAT. But here we are. Use the daily to figure out what you want to do, and then using the smaller time frame to figure out when you want to do it. So I know AMAT going strong as it was today, 2.15%, almost $3 and change in terms of upside movement. I know it's going into resistance. I know that from the daily. Let's go to the smaller chart, find the exact time at which point I want to go for the short. So I'm looking for some form of a negative setup inside of the larger picture sell zone. In this case, the daily. So we're looking for the short. In this case, north of 156 would be the short. So that's the kind of approach I like to take. Obviously, you can add another chart in between the daily and the 5. I think those are two big ranges there. So you can probably add like a 30-minute or something in between. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with the daily and the 5 just because I've done it so often that I know exactly what I'm looking for when it comes down to information. And I also spend a lot of time with the tape as well, right? So the volume going through the level 2 and on the time of sales, which I actually don't show a lot. But if I just drag one, time of sales looks like this, right? We just have our price, our size, the market center, so the ECN that's being printed at the moment. Remember, it doesn't all have to go through one. There's like BATS, EDJ, ARCA. There's many different ECNs that we can go through, and each of them has their own little code here so I can see where the volume is coming from, and then the time. So it's just one of those things where using multiple time frames helps the situation because you get the big picture view, and then you can help narrow down your focus to figure out when exactly you need to make your move. So that's just one of those things I would highly suggest using a multiple time frame approach when trying to figure out what your entries are.
A great question. Thank you so much, Bradley, for that, and great answer as per usual, Arun. So yeah, you're here next week. We're all here next week. Neil's off next week. So Brendan will be back in the anchor spot, I guess. So yeah, Brendan will be back. Hopefully he's enjoying himself, and I know he'd be indulging in some rum and eggnog himself, and I hope he's enjoying himself today at home or wherever he is. Actually, I haven't spoke to him yet today. So, okay, just to give you an update, someone was mentioning there about DWAC. It is popping right now. I don't know, Neil. I mean, I could ask you for some news, but DWAC...
Looking at the chat, I mean, I see absolutely nothing, but then I feel like it's been that way. Like I've only filled in a week for Brendan, and I keep using, I pop in the stock, I do everything I'm supposed to, and it's just, and there is absolutely nothing. Every single time we get one of these stocks running, it just seems to be, whether it's a low flow, whether it's a squeeze type play, whether it's a meme type stock, if it has that momentum behind it, it's going to be running. Heck, we just talked about the Santa Claus rally, and you want to know why, like, well, okay, this is probably mostly opinion, but it's probably right. I'm sure most people probably think this, but the reason you likely have a Santa Claus rally is a lot of the senior traders aren't going to be there, the bigger names aren't going to be there, and thus you have more retail trade action. So you're likely to have a market more driven by retail investors, and they're going to be more bullish. They're going to be more likely, I suppose, in this case, to be buying and trying to profit short term from some of these types of runners and bag those profits. And you know what? If they can do that by taking out some algos that buy the tops and on these momentum moves, good for them and fantastic. But I see nothing on DWAC in terms of news-wise, but it's certainly on the run. And those are the only things worth watching today. I have trade ideas up here. I can't show you that screen the way Brendan has it configured, but some of their best indicators are the ones that we have set up. they're not really showing any breakouts. And the ones that do come are all of these low float runners. So it is a holiday shortened week, and it is the last 25 minutes of that trading session. No need to force anything. The last thing you want to do, you know what it's like. You never want to end off on a bad trade. So don't force yourself in. Try not to buy the top of any of these moves, because you saw that ENSC just came back pretty heavily. And when they do, they can fall like a rock. These aren't being supported by too much or anything fundamentally.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, and again, good points brought in by all. I mean, that's the one thing here is that when you're trading DWAC, we talked about ENSC as well. It's a trade of the day, actually. You guys could check that out. But yeah, it's a slippery slope on some of these names, and that's why we try to stick with, on low volume days, you do want to look at some runners, because you're looking for volume to be able to execute, right? And you got to get in and out of your position. So with that being said, I just got to look at AMC again here, as it did rip up there. We were waiting around this 2880 area, but we never got filled. That high was 84 there, so we definitely didn't get aggressive enough. We should have been more aggressive on some of those positions there, but we'll wait to see. We are 4 cents, a whopping 4 cents in the money right now on that trade, so we'll wait to see if it works. Merck is battling up. This is just a name that we're waiting for, unfortunately. Like, I'd like to talk about these more for you guys, but it's just right now they're not moving, so I don't have much to say, which is strange. Like, it's stuck here at these levels, 76. A break of 76 would be super, super nice, but just not right now. So I definitely don't like that, what we're doing on that move. So we'll wait to see what that goes through, but right now Merck is just chilling. We are hoping for, and again, we talk about this all the time on the show, Arun, the imbalance is coming out. So that's something there. I know you went over the futures. Is this a day with light volume that you would even consider trading the close with some futures? Is that something, or are you still looking at levels? Is it a level specific thing, or do you kind of tune out because of the volume?
Sometimes I do participate, and the reason I do it is because there's a lot of program activity. With the imbalances coming out, you get a lot of runs.
Right.
If those runs happen on some index days, individual stock is pushing the market up. And then once that's done, it kind of falls off. You get involved at the end, because there's usually a spike of volume in the last little, let's say the last 90 seconds or so. There is a spike in volume. So sometimes I do participate in the futures. On a day like today, I'll gauge what the imbalances look like. I think if the imbalances come out and there's a decent amount to be done, then I may participate right at the end.
No audio. Okay.
Okay, so no one heard everything I just said. So I said, essentially, when the imbalances come out, I make my decision on whether I want to participate at the end or not. If the imbalances are large enough, then I will get involved on the future side of things. But for now, we'll just keep an eye on it. Futures coming off here, a few points here. I guess the high is, well, what is the high? The high is 47.2775, so almost 47.28. And here we are about 6 points below that. Not really much of a pullback here, but we are coming off a little bit. So it looks like some profit taking being done, but not from the big boys just yet. This is just, minor profit taking for anyone who's left that's still trading. It does look like intraday profits are being taken on the market here. A lot of these stocks are coming off. AMAT we were talking about with Neil, the AMD has come off, and GME has been trickling down. So there's some movement here. Let's take a look at some big index names. Microsoft, how's Microsoft doing? It's up 2% on the day, not much. Microsoft going sideways, probably Apple doing the same. So we are going to wait it out and see if we can get some more information before these imbalances come out.
Yeah, I'm just looking over to make sure my AMC bids are legit here. We do have some bids on the downside of AMC, so we'll see. I mean, we're still waiting. It did bounce around 40. Our average price is 70, so let's just stick a bid right now at 40 and get out there and see if we can get out of something. We'll try to get out of a quarter on that. Well, how many shares do I have? We'll try to get out of a quarter at the bottom here of 28.40 or so, and then hold out for a flush on AMC. But again, we do obviously understand that this is going to be based on a push down. So we need to get some sort of a catalyst here to the downside on AMC. If we do get that, then great. And I think it could be the imbalances that do that. Everybody's waiting now this holiday season to get their packages delivered. I feel like Amazon's been pretty good doing that. And I mean, right here, you see some barcoding action today. Amazon literally up nothing today. So we'll wait to see what that's going to do. But I feel like Amazon's the place to go. They've probably done really well this season. Maybe you guys have different experience experiences, but I know here in Toronto, it's been pretty good. So I don't have any complaints about Amazon right now. And I just feel like this is a name that we could get some upgrades heading into the new year. It's not, I don't really think, a lot of people say that, if we do come out and we start to reopen, there is going to be more aggressive plays to put your money into. But again, Amazon, I feel like they may miss on a quarter or two, but at the same time, they're kind of at these nice levels where Amazon's changing the game. They have that video game out, I think it's called New World. I wonder how that's doing. I should ask Trader Pratt about that. He doesn't talk about it anymore. But that's probably still doing good. We know AWS is still flying around. So a spot where you might be able to hide out for a little bit is going to be Amazon with some upside. So I do like Amazon, just because you were talking about big cap tech there.
Dominic is yelling at us for BFRI. I see the move. At this point, I'm not participating at all, but it is absolutely nuts right now. It's gone up, about $3 or so, $2, almost $3 in the last little bit. It just popped up in the last 10 minutes. It's been up just north of $1. So quite an aggressive move, but keep in mind, we got to be flat by the end of the day. We can't carry anything overnight anyways. And this move is so late in the day that, I'm not going to participate. If anything, it's going to be entertainment purposes for watching BFRI and how it moves around that 14.
It's so funny, comments like, how does a trading show miss BFRI?
There's so many
I'm in 4 positions. I haven't traded it today, but I've been on this name. And I talked about it down here. We didn't miss BFRI. I'm just not in BFRI. We talked about that name. I don't need to address anybody in the chat anyways, but this 1220 there, and we try to do our best with these names, but we talked about this, and if it breaks this high, I actually remember looking at the chart with you guys and saying that, there wasn't anything up here. We've already touched 15 once. That's a level that we could talk about right now. But this BFRI, once it broke through this level right there, it was good to go all the way on the upside. Unfortunately, right now, I'm in a bunch of different names. I was just looking at CCL. I love, BFRI, I think, is one of the highest shorted names out there. We can check out on trade ideas. So let's take it. How is Swan today? I don't know. Swan is chilling out today. He's not in the building today.
He's back on the 31st, I think. He's
31st? That's too long. We're going to miss him. Okay, let's go to your single stock window right now and have a quick look at what is happening with B. Right, so Neil already called it out there, 26%. So they don't actually have it here on there, but Neil does have it, 26%. So, but look at the float. That's the key thing right there. 3.6 million shares, on the float. That's part of what is causing this move, obviously, to the upside. There's only 3.6 million shares available. It's done 26 million shares today. So 7x or so on the float is, it's incredible. It's not unheard of. We've seen much higher than that. But BFRI today, a big runner. For right now, it's 340. We have 20 minutes left, minus the 10 that come out with the imbalances. I'd short this thing, if anything, right now. If it does start to barcode again or come back into these areas, then maybe you can go long. But right now, it looks like there's some profit taking happening on BFRI. And that's part of why, if you're not in early, you don't need to chase these things. And I think that's goes to your point, Arun. And it's like, if we're not in these right now, we don't need to be in them. So I'm still waiting to get shorter on AMC. It doesn't look like that's going to come through either. But hopefully we break through. We touch some 40s and we get going to the downside. Other than that, it's just chilling out. KTTA, this is another name we could talk about. We should have averaged in down here at 190, but honestly, that's where my out is. So it's kind of like anything less than that, we probably, it went down to 187. We're waiting for a little bit lower. But there it goes. See, now here's another boomer right here. Here's KTTA looking to take out some of these levels. If it does that, then you may have yourself a nice little runner. We're long KTTA at 01s. Same thing from the open. We were waiting to get longer. We should have bought some more down here, but again, we missed that trade. And now we'll see if it goes back up to 230. So any news on KTTA? There is some size here on the level 2.
Oh, I was just going to say there's a few of these running. I was looking at PTPI, oddly enough. And look, there's a number of these, really. I was looking for one that hadn't actually gone yet. This is only at 5.5%, and it's got a double top at the high at 365. And on the daily chart, it's actually got some room here. And this is not, this is not to pump anything up. But with 15 minutes to go, you're probably looking for something that gives you a late pop and run. You saw BFRI come back very quickly. You saw DWAC pop and drop. That's essentially what's been happening here. So if you're looking for something that has not taken out the top, they can give that kind of a run. There's room to $4. Actually, check it on the daily chart. Yeah, that's that's the morning high. That's a 420 in there, so I can say 420. If you go to yesterday's action, 420 top on PTPI, so there'd be room if it broke out. I would be cautious though, because the holiday's coming up, about the 4 o'clock runners. Like, I don't know with the sort of long weekend coming in, whether or not at 4 o'clock you wait for those moves in some of these names that you'll get those breakout and continuations, because there might not be as much activity after market. So be careful trying to, if this is what you're into, be careful trying to hold on to these for that 4 p.m. breakout. I don't think I'd be trying to do that today, personally.
There's a good question I actually want to answer. D Money asking, do the different ECNs actually matter? Yeah, the reason why for us it really makes a difference, since we have access to each and every one of them. Well, at least the ones we have a majority. We have the majority of them. Let me see if I can pull up the keyboard here. So at Day Trade the World, we have something like this, right? So we go into our keyboard, we can set it up through our F1 keys, and then if we're trading, in this case, NASDAQ, let's just go down to NASDAQ, and these are all the gateways that we have access to. Right, so everything from ARCA to a UBS, and there's some dark pools in there with like Sigma X as well. So when we set them up, we like to take a look at what the market codes are, because each ECN has its own market code. So if we know that there's a lot of volume in a specific stock that we trade often, now in individual names, there's preferences. Like me personally, I prefer to go on some ECNs that provide different rebates. Like for every ECN, there's a cost structure, and some ECNs are cheaper. Some of them are more expensive to fill. Some of them pay you better if you were providing liquidity. Like if I were to put an offer and wait for a fill, it's actually I'm getting paid to provide that liquidity. Situations like that. So we pay attention to these market codes, and in this case, I prefer on a lot of these names, and that's just a tendency of mine, is I tend to go through ARCA and BATS and NASDAQ as just personal preference, and then I'll route through Edge A or Edge X. It just starts, I just like the way it's structured, right? So that's just my preference, and everyone has their own preference. Sometimes though, you end up in a name like just say Siri, that looks like that, and everyone's just stacked on both sides. Well, you'll notice that there's a tendency of one market code to provide more liquidity. Obviously, that's based on cost structure as well. But when you start to identify where the liquidity is coming from, you just try to jump on that so you can get filled first, right? There's a priority, but some ECNs get, I guess, printed first or get filled first. So that's why I think for us, market codes matter, and those ECNs and their liquidity matters, and who's getting the most action. That's where we go, so we can get it first, and then if we need to, we can dump it on other ECNs and whatnot. So it's just one of those things where paying attention to the market code matters, or paying attention to the ECN matters, as long as the cost structure matters as well to you. If you don't care about the cost and you just want the shares, you don't care how you get it, where you get it from, like a routing order, then take it from wherever, right? It doesn't really affect you in any way. If you just think that it's going up to $10 or something and you want it now, that's what you do. Sometimes I do that as well. I want the shares now. I don't care where I get it from. Just give it to me. Other times you want to be smart about how you're getting filled, because you think you can get the shares, but you just want to pay less to get them. So I do play that game sometimes. So that's why we pay attention to that ECN game as well. And this is, I think, Siri is a pretty good example, as like all the ECNs, you see it on the bid, from ARCA at the top to BOSX at the bottom. Everyone's just stacked on the bid, and everyone's got liquidity just waiting to get filled, right? So you'll notice that some of them are going to get their shares first versus the others.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the other thing. Make sure that it matters to you, right? And I think that's the important thing. Like, if your gateways don't matter to you as far as how much you pay, then whatever, man, use the routing, because dark pools are the most expensive, but you will get better fills on dark pools, from what I can see anyways. You'll get, like, even if it's a quarter of a point, like a shave. Look, there's reasons why you might not want to use dark pools. I don't think I need to tell you guys that as well. All right, so Super Chat, what's up, Phil McCracken? Thank you so much for your support as well. Shorted XXII. That's hilarious. Like, I don't know if you guys could saw my screen. I literally just called up XXII and noticed that today, because I know that it's a well-traded name here at Day Trade the World. $3. Oh, what was the thing? You shorted XXI at $3 break. Okay, so let's let this load up and have a quick look. So if you just got short now, yeah, that's a good call. I mean, I like that break. I do. That's a break that I would have supported 100% there. Taking out the bottom, the problem is it stopped at 294. I don't know, Neil, could you find out the catalyst? XXII. I don't know. I know it's off on volume today, 80 million shares. I can't believe we haven't even talked about this, like 80 million shares. This might be leading all markets today, 80 million. We haven't even touched on this. This is 22nd Century Group right here. If you look at a daily chart on this name, a big bump. Like, I don't know what that was, but I think a $3 short, honestly, you know, unless this is a material change in the company or something like that, I don't mind that play. You have a high here of 330 that goes back to a month ago. I think it could probably hold out for that, but let's see if Neil has anything. What's up?
Yeah, look, this is one that we just, they had news today, this morning, and during Prad's show and also this morning, but the 22nd Century, the reduced nicotine content cigarettes are going to launch in the U.S. within 90 days. There are several positive catalysts and headlines with regards to the FDA and 22nd Century here today. So they are on the move. I did trade. I traded this to the short side when it actually was trying to go to that $3 range the first time and reversed when it took out 290. Looked like a better level than 3. So it looks pretty good from a breakdown. I do understand that, but if it's a day trade, I think it's okay. It could be a little bit hairy. Now, obviously it's a holiday week going in, but this is day one, and there is a legitimate news catalyst, and we've seen what's happened with these, I guess, more depressed names, lower flow, whatever you want to call it in that bucket. They've sustained their moves for multiple days, every single one of them across the board, and here you actually have an actual catalyst. I'd be a little bit cautious about me holding any overnight shorts, let alone over the weekend, going into a low volume week where these types of names tend to rally a little bit. So because of the actual catalyst, there is some danger with that 3 short. As far as the day trade goes, I mean, it's been shorting every single pop. I mean, I bungled along myself at 290, could have had some out at 350. I wasn't taking it back out till 20s and then back at 310. But $3 here, it's not a horrible entry, but we only have about 10 minutes till the close. And that's a tricky one to hold overnight.
Yeah, so I was going to say, to preach the same kind of words as Neil there, but I mean, I don't know. I don't like anything that has to do with like e-cigarettes or, tobacco, anything like that. No, like I cannot think that this is going to continue to rip upside. And again, without knowing much about the product, thank you so much for the super chat. I just see some resistance here at 350. So if your account, and I don't know how many shares you have, but if your account can hold, I'd be surprised if we would break above $4. But again, anything can happen. And I think the most important note to take out of all of that is holiday shortened week. So we'll have to see what happens next week. But if it's a low float stock, we'll see. I don't mind it. If you are nervous about it, you can get out now for 7-8 cents. I mean, it's not going to hurt you. But XXI. Oh, the futures, Rune, the imbalance.
The imbalances came out. Let me pull up the imbalance list here. What do we got here in terms of imbalances? I expect them to be somewhat to this. Oh, no, we got AT&T buy side. I mean, AT&T at 3.3 million shares. It's, decent. It's decent, but it's done 32 on the day. It's like 10% of the day's volume. Not a whole lot. Palantir, sell side. We've got Palantir 1.8. SABR 1.5, AMCR sell 1.5, Micron and Coke all rounding up the top here, all on the sell side. AMCR actually is on the buy side. Apart from that, everything else is sub 1 million. So futures popping a little bit, not getting a ton of action, but we are getting some movement to the upside on the futures as we kind of get to the end of the day. I guess net positive in some degree, but here we are. But the thing is, though, we're also at day highs too, right? So if imbalances come out, we're also sitting at day highs. We're sitting in front of a round number, 47.30. I imagine stops went off north of 47.30. I think we got as high as 47.31 quarter on the futures as we come up to the final 10 minutes of the trading session before we get to the holiday weekend. And then next week, Christmas rally should be on. Should not be, it should be on. If we don't get it, Neil already talked about what happens in terms of those statistics. Most of the time we get that rally, final 5 trading days of the year, first 2 trading days of next year, and then market starts off well. If we don't get that rally, January tends to be a negative month from the statistics that Neil found. So here we are waiting for that rally tomorrow as we round out the trading week and we go into that holiday. Merry Christmas, everybody.
So yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody, and thank you for supporting the show. A lot of super chats today, and a lot of fun, man. We had the eggnog there, Arun crushed one. Okay, so CCL right now, and I think Neil hit up the one as well there. I think I'm the only man on two, which is fine. I'm happy with that. I think Prad's passed out over there, so we'll worry about that afterwards. So okay, we just got out of CCL, so that was a money-making stock. So we'll go, wow. Unfortunately, Rob, you're here next week, right? Rob, it doesn't matter if Lucas is here either, but I don't have the bang on here. I actually don't have it on. So that's okay. We don't need to hit it. We are out now of CCL. Good trade for us today. Averaged in, and was able to take that out on the high side. So that's going to be a good trade for us. This KTTA, I mean, I might as well just get out of most of these. Merck is an 8-cent winner right now. Rob, don't worry about it if you can't. It doesn't matter. There it is. Okay, he found it anyways. Thanks, Rob, for that one. Bang it out for the Christmas holidays, guys. I hope everyone's going to be enjoying it with family and friends. And I think tonight, I was telling my wife that maybe tonight we'll find, well, my kids have been watching Modern Family, so I actually was looking on Netflix. I think we're in like season 7 or 8, I'm not sure, but I think it leaves Netflix soon. So I was saying, like, why don't we go out, find all the Christmas episodes and watch those before they leave. Modern Family, a good show. I like that one. I think that's what we'll be doing tonight. And then tomorrow we have the big family coming over, where I've already got the veal cutlets, man. I'm going to be making those up. We've got some lasagna. We're going to be frying those up. Lots of good traditions happening in the Katina household. My wife has made some beautiful... Netflix, yeah. What, for Modern Family?
No, you just told me to start watching it, and now you're saying
I just saw that it was leaving. I don't know. That's why, yeah. I'm glad I told you. Start watching it before it leaves. But I don't know.
He's got a weekend while he's
I don't know. I thought I saw it.
I'll look it up.
The thing is, it could be one of those things where it leaves and then comes back, like they're sort of doing.
It is. It's leaving in January.
With the Grinch. Oh, what day?
No, this says January here.
Oh, it just says January.
Yeah, January.
So it's probably the 31st. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Like, I thought The Office was leaving, and it's still there. I don't know. I don't know how all this stuff works on
Love
Netflix.
The Office.
Yeah, The Office is the best. I was saying we could watch The Office Christmas specials, but I don't know if those are kid appropriate. Like, I just don't know. Like, I'm watching these things with my
If you have to think about it, usually it's not, right?
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I'm watching these with my 9 and 7-year-olds. So, okay, that's that. All right, quick talk here. Merck, we're just going to get out of Merck. It's not moving. It's in the money right now. 10 cents, so 8 cents. We'll just take it out there. KTTA is not doing anything. And then actually, you know what's actually moving down to the downside? We'll take a 53 bid right here if we can. Is AMC starting to fall down a little bit? We'll take a bid at 53. We're short at 71. So, but we didn't make that trade today. We made that trade, or not now. We made that trade earlier. So we'll wait to see now where we go. But yeah, to the downside. I hope all you guys have a great Raccoons on Ice. Classic Canadian kids movie. I actually don't know that one. Let's hope for a better 2022.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think 2020, yeah, I mean, I want a better year every year moving forward, but 2021 was horrible as far as society is concerned, but I think for the market, it was a pretty banger year. So that's why I got that note confused. Only 5 minutes left, Arun. I'm just going to take out all my positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Futures coming off here. Noah, after putting in highs here just above 30, here we are falling off 5 points or so, 47.25. What time is it? 3:55. That means there was an update on the futures side, not futures, in the imbalance side of things. Looks like we've lost AT&T at the top there. That was up 3.5 million shares or something to the buy side. Now that's gone. Biggest one is 1.1 on Coke to the sell side. AMC are still there at 1 million shares. You're not getting a whole lot of action up here right now. I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, futures falling off. So it's kind of just the unloading as we go into the end of the week, right? So going into a long weekend as well. So just be aware. Somebody was asking, are the futures open tomorrow? My suggestion, I don't trade on holidays, but I know futures are Globex traded platforms. So take a look at CME Group's Globex hours. And so that's the website right there, CME Group. Take a look at their Globex hours and you'll find out what time they close. If they are open, they're probably closed either 11 or maybe 9 a.m. Just figure it out. It's on the website. They have their holiday hours out there, and it's a Globex platform, by the way. So just be aware that you're looking for the Globex version of the futures contracts, and you'll find out all the information you need. Anything you need about futures contracts, just go directly to Globex or to CME Group, and they'll have all that information laid out for you, so you can actually get it directly from the source. Because I'm not sure exactly, because I tend not to trade it because there's next to no volume on those days, anyways. But I imagine there's some shortened trading session available at some point.
All right, so we get out of our 70s here on AMC, and yeah, look, I mean, it's been a fantastic year. We are here all next week, so stay tuned for that. We'll have a few picks for you. We'll talk more and more about trading. We'll talk about some of the gifts that we got for Christmas, and I hope that you and yours can celebrate it safely and happily. I mean, that's really, and I think that those are some good points here about it being a rough year, right? Let's celebrate now. Although I can't be super positive. I mean, Ontario today is the highest amount of cases we've ever had. But yeah, 5,900.
Oh,
so yeah, highest ever in the pandemic. But hospitalizations, stable. ICU, stable. So that's great. It looks like, and we thank God for this, it looks like this new variant is not as devastating to the human body. So that's going to be good for everybody in the new year. And that's really what we look for. Disney, 153. I'm just looking at some of these names. That's good. NVIDIA does not get back above 300, 297, and some of the banks rocking and rolling. So I like, you know what? I mean, if you guys want to pick for a swing trade, I mean, some people talked about this, might be a little bit late. I really like the action on Coinbase today. I mean, I know you had this long, but I really think that we did have a nice dip down there for a lot of the cryptocurrencies over the last month or so, and Coinbase has been getting hit. You can see here on a daily chart, we were lucky enough to sell some at 360. We haven't bought some back in, and we should probably be doing that soon as it's approaching back up to $300. I like Coinbase, although today's move was big, but there's no reason why that can't continue. So I really think next week we continue this march higher. I feel like some of the numbers, and I just said like a doomsday thing there, but I think some of the numbers will be controlled very, very soon in this stage that we're in. So let's hope this pandemic can come to an end. And when it does, I think the market gets its feels again, and we go back up to the upside. So I like Coinbase and I like HUT. So I like HUT 8 and Coinbase. And I don't mind PaySafe, guys, to be honest with you. A lot of the names that are, I just see it on the chat, a lot of the names that have been beat down here, you could see it's really a nice base down here at $354. So whether or not you want to test your dip your toes in that name is up to you. I'm already in it, so whatever. Licking the wounds. Another name that we're licking the wounds on too is Clover, and that's been a nice comeback as well. So we are getting ready to rock and roll here. Let's go on the charts. I'm just trying to show you Clover. I don't know what's going on with my charts. Loading data, loading. I think my charts might have had a little bit too much rum and eggnog right there.
There's a couple super chats maybe before we get to
the is there? Okay, a quick super chat saying thing. I see Dominic there. What is Dominic saying? Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all. Yes, for sure. $100 on that one. Yeah, $10 for Prad Super Chicken. He's just a squirrel trying to get a nut. So
it costs 15, he says. He's being greedy now.
It costs $15 for the Super Chicken, but that's because Brad gets like the combos. So I think the sandwich itself is probably around $10. So regardless, thank you. Unless someone wants to Super Chat $5 right now, Brad can get his combo. But yeah, the market tank city right now.
Profit taking at the end
when
of the
we
day,
only have the countdown, we better hit that right now. I got it, Arun. As we're going down now. You hit it again. No, Arun, we double hit that. So Valeria, we have 3, we have 2, and we have 1. Dun, dun. There it is. Nice Christmas sweater for Miss V. And that is a wrap on what was a very, very fun day until the end of the day there. Yeah. I have no idea what just happened in the futures. They got cracked a little bit. We got out of all of our positions before that move, so that was a good one. But Neil, how did we wind up? I believe it's still green.
This didn't happen to me at any point. We see this happen to Brennan, where it just sits here loading. There we go. Loaded up. We did crack to the downside at the end. There was a significant pullback, but if I can trust this after how long it took to load up, we still end up in positive territory, although the NASDAQ was doing much better than 1%, I think, at one point, and now 0.8 with that. And the Dow. So the Dow does not fall at the end. It looks like it was mostly the NASDAQ and the S&P coming in. Still overall positive session. Crypto had the breakout. You saw Bitcoin make that move through 50,000 later in the session. Crude oil holding up pretty well. So I have absolutely no complaints. The eggnog is delicious, and I'm going to be out of here pretty quick because I got a plane to catch.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. We know Neil's got to get out of here. Thank you to Dominic. There you go. Where's Prad?
He's gone.
Yeah, he's not gone.
Already?
Oh, he's there. Someone gave you your $5.
Dominic gave $5 to top that up. So we can now get. There he is. There's Trader Prad. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have a good. As you can tell, we're gonna have a good rest of the day here. I would imagine. I want to thank everybody, especially everybody working so hard. And I think it's we got to give a big shout out to Rob this week. Has been solo on the ones and twos, and the show hasn't missed a beat. So a big thank you to Rob. I see Natalie sitting over there in her reindeer antlers as well. So thank you so much to everybody. Yeah, there it is. Rob, he's loving it. Loving life there. As you can see the clock at the background. 4:02. That's funny because that's not the right time. But yet it's right there. So, okay, Trader Prazagani, you already saw him there. Thank you to Maggie, who's been working super hard. Thank you to Ms. V all day, every day, working all 3 shows. So thank you, Ms. V, for that one. And of course to Neil, well, to our whole team. I mean, we could just do a quick little wrap up right now. You know, for everybody out there, have a absolutely, if we can go to $3 maybe, I guess, if we can have an absolutely wonderful holiday. What happened? So I think we got to stop this eggnog stuff, maybe. I mean, we're only doing it once a year here.
Oh, that was
we talked about celebrating for New Year's, so we may do this again on Friday.
Yeah, but champagne for New Year's, right?
Yeah, it'll be champagne. So
what do we do this time? Because what do we have? Like we had the Veuve, and then we had the
Yeah, I got it right here.
What's next?
I got it right here.
Next?
So we'll see. This is for the 200,000 subscribers. But anyways, okay, let's move on. All right, guys, fantastic week. Happy holidays to everybody. Neil, travel well. And we will see everybody next week. Happy holidays to everybody. Be safe. Enjoy your time with your family. Ciao.
Happy holidays.